All right, all right, all right. Boy, damn, time surely flies by when you are growing and having fun, especially in the counselor's corner. Welcome back to another open court discussion broadcast. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor. Joining me is my talented panel, Herb Lewis, the big bad wolf,
Ow!
Willie A. Price speaks absolutely nothing but the truth.
That's right, and I'm ready.
And our ladies are not here, but I'm gonna introduce them anyway. Christine comes correct all the time. Brooks, the lovable Lakia Perry, Annetta Life Coach Williams, and the youngest in charge, Shaughnessy Andrews. And they talk about guys always being late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot they're putting on their makeup and their lipstick and getting their hair done. You know. All right, so yeah, let me go on. So this past Monday, we discussed the topic: what are you willing to keep from your partner? Not surprised at all that people admitted that there are some things that people will keep from their partners, especially if it's keeping it from dad. Wow, yeah, you heard it. You heard it. We already know that certain things mothers keep a little secret, talk to their children like, long as you do this, I'm not gonna tell dad. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna let him know. And that's where it all started from. So on Monday, well tonight we will finish what we left off with. If love isn't enough to keep you kept, then what is? Is it your emotional intimacy, the emotional investment, family duties, your partner's personality, the enjoyment you share, the emotional security, or the physical intimacy? What keeps you kept in a relationship? What makes you stay there? Okay, enough of that. Number two, how does money and credit affect your relationships? Yeah, we're gonna get in a little conversation about that. Number three, are breaks necessary in a relationship? And I know most people say breaks. If we take a break, we might as well break up. But there's reasons why some people may take a break, and we'll discuss that and get the perspectives from the panel without going too deep into it. In religion, what role does it play in your life? So we all know that people, follow religion or they're spiritual for certain reasons. We're gonna talk about that as well. So you know how we do. Cooking with Grease, another fire broadcast. Please like and share our video, and let's get the subscriptions up by clicking on the subscription link. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every time I go live. And thank you for your continuous support. So we hear what's going on, fellas. What's new? What's bad? What's old? What's indifferent?
Uh, what's new? About to get my programs kicked off. I'm doing a family fitness program. I think I mentioned that last week. We got some funding from a couple of organizations, so we're going to be doing a family fitness and a run, jump, and throw program with youth and their families, 5 to 13-year-olds, plus the families. We're going to be doing aerobics and jogging and Zumba and all kind of activities, just trying to encourage childhood, help reduce childhood obesity and encourage family fitness. So we're going to be bringing out people to give out fruit and vegetables and talk about nutrition. So just trying to get the community involved, and it's free and it's open to the community. And the goal is to get, like I said, 5 to 13-year-olds out, but it's open for everybody.
Okay, that's good stuff right there. Especially when you include, parents into it as well.
Yeah, and that was the thing. We wanted to include the parents because a lot of times they'll send the kids out if they send the kids out. But if you can do it all together with the family and everybody else involved, that really helps to round out that whole family fitness mindset that we're trying to create.
Okay.
It's a 5-week program too, so it's pretty good activity.
That's good. That's great. Herbert, what's good with you?
Man, just healing, man. The elbow's getting better, man. I'm finally able to cut my hair. besides the usual bumps and bruises of getting older, steady as she goes, man. That's like they say, no news is good news.
Yeah, for me, it ain't nothing. Man, we went back to school last week, so it's the last stretch of the school year. Kids acting up. We about to drop these summer school or retention letters on them,
Oh
so
wow.
that's gonna shake up some things. But for the most part, they just being kids, whatever. It's
Now when does school get out for your kids? When do you guys get out?
I think the last day is technically supposedly June 17th, but
Oh, so y'all like around how we are up here then, like the kids up here.
but usually
Mid-June,
once they
mid-June.
figure out snow days and all that stuff, it usually ends up a little earlier.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just that last stretch, whatever. It's gonna be a tough grind. They gonna push it to the limit with their
Of
behaviors and
course.
stuff, and so it's been a lot of different stuff. But one of the things I could say that's been really coming out this year after everybody came back from the pandemic is, and people may contribute it to Donald Trump and his level of comfortableness of speaking his mind, that it's been a lot of racial stuff going on. Like I've had several
Really?
mediations with kids about racial slurs and stuff like that. So it's been
Wow.
it's been quite interesting. And I mean, and again, like I always say, I only can be only a shell of myself to be able to say the politically correct thing, because there's some things that I want to say, but I just can't. So it's, just dealing with that stuff, not on a regular basis, but when I do have to deal with it, it's quite intense. Uh, even with little seventh graders.
I got to share some information with you. I'll send it to you after the show or tomorrow. We've been doing something called the Race Card Challenge, which is all about racial diversity and that discussion what you're just talking about, how kids are, getting into all this racial and stuff that they're doing. And so we've been promoting the program up called the Race Card Challenge, and just having those discussions and helping kids to overcome some of the biases that they have between each other. So I'll send you some information on that.
And I want to follow that up, Willie. Okay, I'm not in the schools anymore, but even when I was, I never really got the sense, at least from the kids, the students, that racism was as bad then or bad now as it was for us.
Well, when when we say racism, we don't really consider it racism. It's the diversity of the different ethnic groups. You making fun of Arabs, you making fun of the different cultures, and it's not so much. They don't see it as being racial. They see it more from what they see on the media, and they see an Arab person, they want to call them a terrorist, those kind of things and the mindsets. And so having those discussions and understandings of, how people feel about certain things and certain views and behaviors and misconceptions. And a lot of times, a lot of the conflicts that are created between adults and kids is because of misunderstandings or miscommunication about the diversity of the groups, the ethnic groups.
Yeah.
And it's. Oh, go ahead. I don't know if you finished. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, you're good. You're good.
And it's something to what you're saying, because I know when I was mentoring that they had classes that were specifically for English Generation First students, which is something that we never had in school. I mean,
Right.
there was no such class. So
Right.
everybody that came there was a native English speaker. So to what you're saying, I never really considered that nor thought of it. So I wonder if that's something that should be, I don't necessarily want to say mandatory, because when you say mandatory, people start looking at,
Right.
first of all, where's the funding from the classes going to come from? That's always a big thing in
They need to
budgets.
change. They need to change this whole curriculum, whatever. To be honest, whatever, to fit the
Yeah.
times with social media, the racial climates and culture and stuff. This prehistoric stuff that's going on.
Exactly.
It's not working for kids, and they're challenging. Even like I said, in these mediations, the kids is coming out and said, "I bet you, I bet you your parents are racist." And the other person, she was like, "Yeah, they are."
Yeah.
So where do you go from it? Like, wow, like
right. And they know
it's
it, but
embedded in her.
Yeah. They're surrounded by other cultures, and although when they go home, they have to deal with those things, and then when they come to school, they have to try to control some of the things they say and the things they think because they don't want to reflect what's being said at home because they may not really think that way because they've been inducted into different cultures and got to know other ethnic groups and kids and gotten to see that they're not what their parents say. And so that's what this whole conversation is about. But I get so much flack about it, and the schools don't want to do it. The community don't want to do it. They'd rather stick their heads in the sand and boycott it versus having those discussions. And you'd be surprised just how people are reluctant to have that discussion about, just having that conversation to overcome some of the misconceptions of different cultures and races.
All right. Well, hold on. We got Annette in here. Want to get her a chance because this is just the introduction. What's going on, Annette?
You're on mute. You're still on mute.
There you go.
I was trying to unmute. I'm kind of chilling. I'm exhausted, so I'm in the bed.
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
But I'm here, and you guys, I was listening to everything you guys were saying. So it's been a crazy, busy weekend. Very productive, positive, celebratory weekend, but just busy.
Should we call you? What should we call you? Should we call you minister or?
I was a minister. Now I'm an elder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm still a netta at the end of the day. I'm still y'all little sis. I'm a netta. Hi, Mr. Urban Guy. I feel like we've been talking on this chat thing. Have you been talking to us on the chat thing? Do I have good memories, bad memories? What do I have?
Well, you just have memories. Period. That's it. but salute to everyone. Salute. I appreciate y'all want to invite me up again for the show.
Oh, no problem.
That was a pleasure and a privilege, man.
Am I by myself? Where's everyone? Where the females at?
Putting on their makeup.
Getting the headshots ready.
First of all, Dave, don't try to play us like that.
Going to the beauty store. I don't know. I mean,
don't try to play us like that, Dave. Don't do that. Don't try to play us like that.
Trying to find the perfect top to put on or whatever.
You really also stumped tonight.
Sometimes I be
You also stopped tonight, boy.
All right. We gonna jump into the conversation. The one we're leading off with was like a carryover from last week. If love isn't enough to keep you kept, then what is?
One
word. Love is just not enough for me to stay with.
One word.
Because people don't.
Commitment.
A lot of people. I think I've talked about this once before. I said people say love, but you have so many people who have never really been loved, and so if they've never been loved, they don't know how to give it. And then when someone is trying to give them love and they've never been loved before, then it's hard for them to accept it because that's not what they've seen love to be. By the relationships they've been in, they've seen the mother being abused or the mother and father abusive situations. And so that's what they look at as a relationship. And if that relationship that they're in isn't emulating that, then a person coming in and actually showing true love or showing that they care, they're not used to that. And they would hear a person call them a simp and, all these things as being weak when it's somebody showing that care, that emotion, something that person has never experienced.
Okay.
So what if you experienced love from your parental relationships, your sibling relationships, and the only bask of love that you know is from that parental sibling relationship? So when you go out to the dating world, you don't know how to separate the difference from feeling the intimacy of family love versus the intimacy of a connection from the opposite sex.
And think about that's a different kind of love too. You know what I mean? Because a family love, the way you love your mother and your sister and your brother is going to be different from the way you're going to love your mate. You know what I mean? You're not that intimate kind of love with your brother and sister, you know, or there's some problems in the family there. So when you
say love differently, what do you mean when you say love differently?
When you love,
David, I'm sorry.
Huh?
So
she does straight take over the show, huh?
No, let it do her thing.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
When you love your brothers and your sisters, and you got their back, and you're looking out for them, and y'all got each other's support, you know, and they know they can come to you, and you can come to them. That's a different kind of love. Whereas in a relationship, love is more of an emotional attachment, sexual. You know, sex comes into play into that. You're not. When you love your brother or your sister, you're not thinking about having sex with them at the end of the day as part of that love that y'all have between each other. You know, when you're in a relationship, sex and intimacy and those type of behaviors all come into play. And some people have never actually felt that type of love before. They get into an argument and they have make up sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they meet a person, and because it's something a lot about that person, they interested, and then they have sex with them. But it's not love. It's something about that person that has intrigued them. And so they use sex as a way of showing that they want to be with that person. But then once the sex is not there, or you're not having sex, they don't really have any connection. There's no conversation. There's no, you know, what do we do outside the bedroom? And so what you find is that most of them argue, fuss, or they're off messing around with somebody else to find that piece that's missing, that's not in that what they consider love. They may care about that person, but they just don't, because they don't know how to express love. They don't know how to make the complete relationship work. That's why you have so many people.
So I'll say this. I get and I understand what you're saying. I think as human beings and as adults, I think we haven't been taught, our culture has not been taught the proper way of loving.
Right.
And so we make love very conditional. Okay. So it's like, if I take care of you, that means I love you.
Love you. Yeah.
Okay. If I
came home last night, I love you.
Right.
You know?
If I'm here and I came home, that means I love you.
Exactly.
And so what happens is we tend to put love in categories, and we put them in categories with limitations. So we don't know the proper way of loving, because, again, y'all know I'm very transparent. I know I was married for almost 30 years, and it wasn't until after I was divorced that I realized I was never in love.
No.
Okay. And that I just was living in this fantasy of, well, you know, you church girl, you want to have sex, you need to get married. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened was I got pushed into a lot of relationship formation without actually knowing the formation of love. Okay. So then I'm put into a relationship. I'm becoming a wife, from girlfriend to wife. Well, actually coming from daughter in the house to girlfriend to wife with no in-between training. Okay. And then I'm a mother. So now I got all these different layers on. I'm trying to learn how to love on all these different layers. But at the end of the day, the first person you need to learn how to love is yourself. So what happens is we don't end up having self-love. And then we try to feel, like you just said, try to fulfill voids. And we can't fulfill those voids with another human being, because we have to start at the very beginning, and that's us. So I think sometimes we just
can't be happy with nobody else.
And I think sometimes we just don't understand the whole gamut of what love is, and we get it all confused. Love does not equate to sex. Let's throw that out there, because it's a lot of people having sex. It's a lot of people having sex and are not in love. Okay.
Exactly.
They just great sex hookups or great lustful fulfillments. It's not love. Okay. And when people say, what a breakup and a makeup sex, all that is intensity to try to attempt to show you out. That's all it is. It ain't makeup, because the next day you still mad that he did not fix that garage door. You still mad that she spent up that money at the casino. Okay. So that's not makeup sex. That's intensity sex with emotions, just to show you how peed off I am. Okay. That's the reality of that. Is there anything wrong with it? No, ain't wrong with it. Whatever. Don't your boat sell your ship. You do it. I never been that girl.
But that's that toxic relationship too. That's what you consider that toxic relationship.
It is very a toxic relationship. And so my whole gimmick about love is that sometimes we have to learn how to love unconditionally. And we put so many limitations on love. I know for me, I put limitations on love and friendships. That's why I'm so quick to friend zone somebody or put somebody in a category, because I immediately put limitations.
I don't do friend zones.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though, because and this is one of the questions that was asked of us in an interview when we were at Je ne sais quoi, was to describe love. And the thing about that is this: I personally, just my personal perspective on the conditions of love, is there's only one group of people that should be entitled to unconditional love, and that's your children. Because your children come into this world not knowing, so they need to be taught. And in order to be taught, they need to be given grace to make mistakes. Now, once we start transitioning from kids to adolescents to teens into adults, somewhere in that transition, we should be learning as well as being taught. And that's where the gap comes in. Just imagine when you sit down to a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle or 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. How do you start to construct that puzzle so you can put it together and finish it? Do you start with the borders? Do you start with things that look alike? Or do you start with whatever it is that you choose? Some of us will actually go get the help of somebody else to put that together. And that's what we do with relationships. We try and find out what we lack and trying to find somebody else that balances that out so we can build together. Far too often, when we hit snags in relationships, as opposed to trying to work through them, we just say, you know what? It's just easier to walk away, failing to realize that we're only going to encounter that problem with the next person because we still haven't addressed that particular issue. That's why they always say marriages and relationships take work, and far too often with our generation moving forward, that desire and the commitment to put that work in is lacking. So that's where the conditions come in. The conditions more so are placed upon the individual.
Oh, he was on the road.
Uh-oh.
He was on the road.
Hitting the wrong buttons.
Well, we'll let you go ahead, urban therapist, until he comes back.
Yeah. First of all, once again, shout out to everyone on the panel. This is a very good segment here. So far, I agree, and I understand for each one of y'all one perspective from. But let me go ahead and share my perspective about this as well too. Willie, he made a point earlier when he was talking about the sex part and stuff, right? So I want to share my perspective on that too. I believe that the same way how we love our children, it should be the same way how we love each other, period. You know what I'm saying? There's no separation of love, period. You know what I'm saying? The only difference, which I'm bringing it back, the only difference is the sex part, which intimacy. That's the only difference to that. Well, we have different level of intimacy. We have different level of intimacy with our children. We have different level of intimacy with our significant ones who we have sex with. We have different level of intimacy, with our siblings, which is our brothers and sisters and different people like that. And I believe that that's where we get the confusion from, where we try to equate intimacy into love, but them are two totally separate things. You know what I'm saying? Intimacy and love is two totally separate things. We love we love each other the same exact way, unconditionally, you know what I'm saying? But we confuse it with intimacy. In other words, you know what I'm saying? And that's where we get the confusion from. So I often challenge people this all the time, like, hey, if you're in a relationship, you should be loving each other unconditionally, period. The same way how you love your children, you should be loving your significant other that same exact way, that same measure, or even more, period. But we end up saying, look, since this person is having good sex with me, that's love. Like y'all saying earlier, or that's love because you have a good sex with me, or that's love because you done gave it to me good, or you done bang me good, and especially if we having makeup sex and stuff like that. That's not love. That is a form of intimacy. That is in other words, an expression of the unconditional love that you give for that person. You know what I'm saying? No different from your children. Whenever our children do things that we appreciate, what we do, we reward them with certain things that they like, right? Whenever our brothers and sisters do things that are good, we reward them, right, with certain different things like helping them out or being their day ones or anything like that, even with friendships. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So, and that's part of it, the love component. But what are some of the things besides love, like what would keep you there, keep you vested in the relationship that you'll stay?
Sex.
Yeah, I mean that is one of them.
I mean, it's true. It's true, Willie. It is true. Absolutely,
it is true.
But that's the reason why he keep meeting these toxic, dragging them, stalking females, because he's basing his relationships around sex, and it's nothing wrong with that if that's what you do.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't base it around sex, but it is something that
it's a high priority.
It is, and it's because just to be transparent, when I went through my marriage, I agreed to some things, and then once we got married, sex wasn't part of the relationship. And so to be married to somebody for 4.5 years and not be able to do something that you enjoy on a regular basis that was misery within itself. So for me, I know that I'm not like a sexaholic or a sex whatever you want to call it, but I do believe in being intimate with whoever I'm with, because if I'm with that person and we're in a committed relationship, then I'm not trying to go anywhere else. So why should I have to go somewhere else to have my needs taken care of? We take care of each other, and then that we work out everything else when we're not in the bedroom. That's where I always talk about communications. I'm a big talker. I believe in communicating and understanding, so that way when we are intimate, it just tops off that relationship. And so that was something that wasn't in the marriage that I was in, and as a result, it didn't work out.
So for me, sex is not a priority like that. I'm sorry, it's not. And I know you laughing, but it's not because
no. I was laughing at something else.
Oh, I know you was laughing at Willie's face. And I don't want nobody get on here and be like, oh my God, that's why she's single, because she don't want to have sex. No, that's not the reason why.
Exactly.
That's exactly not the reason why. Okay. I'm a person that for one, I'm a one man female. Okay. And so when I'm in an intimate relationship, he's getting the unlimited, uninhabited extra of me, everything from A to Z. So I believe because of that, you can't share that with everyone. Everyone can have that piece of you. So when I think about intimacy, I think about into me, you see. So you're into me and I want to be into you. So I feel that, sex is very driven now, and it's very open and it's very freestyle. You can have sex with anyone, but can you be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically connected to everyone? Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I didn't
And people don't make those commitments these days. That's what you find. You don't find people willing to take
Right.
that chance and be that committed. And as soon as one thing doesn't go the way they want, or or the way they think it should be going, they're off looking for the next person. They always got that one foot out the door because people are so afraid to be committed into a relationship because so many people are cheating and messing around and on social media, meeting and hookups and all this other, nonsense that you have going on. And so it just makes it very hard. Even if you want to be committed in a relationship, you always have that second thought about, is that person actually being as committed to you as you're being to them? So
that goes along with triggers, though. Those goes along with triggers from past relationships. When you have not healed from past relationships, or you have suppressed your healing process, as some people do, because they feel like the best way to heal is go to the next person. And that's not always good, because 9 out of 10, that next person is going to pay for the person's crime that they did not commit. So it's very unfair to walk into a relationship with already having a defeatable attitude. That's why a few years ago, nice guy that came into my life, but I knew I was not ready for him because I wasn't ready to give him the trueness that he deserved, because he was such a nice guy. I was still in that wounded bird stage, and I was still like, every man that come to me, I'm going for your juggler. So, and paying alimony, $1,400 a month, get away from me. Okay. So
he was?
I was paying. So he was getting the casualties of all the stuff that I was going through. So it wasn't a safe place for him. Now that we have recommunicated and started back talking, now I've grown and healed so much that I'm beyond the need of him. Okay. But I'm honest about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm honest because he's still in this place and now I'm here.
You're somewhere else. Right.
And one of the things I wanted to add, like when we talk about certain relationships and stuff, again, we talk about this often, is social media, the images that people see. So a lot of times people become envious of what they see other couples doing, but they don't really know behind the scenes what's really going on.
They don't even like each other.
Yeah, they just see them on these trips and stuff like that. And then they look and say, damn, we ain't went nowhere in years. I could be doing this, I could be doing that. And that shit impacts people. And they act on that instead of saying, I'm not even worried about the next person. But I guess people got to put their stuff out there because we're in the world of likes and shares and all that stuff.
Likes and shares. And
you are, and people life is driven on that. I had someone tell me a while ago, she said, oh, you travel so much, you'll be all over the world. She said, aren't you tired of traveling by yourself? I said, who said I was by myself?
Thank you.
She was like, well, I'm saying you take pictures by yourself.
All your business out there.
And I told her, I said, first of all, I don't post pictures with men. I said, and second of all, if I am in a relationship, it would not be social media's
business
at all. I said, and third is, I'm not going to go on a vacation with a man and be in a room together and this and this and that. I go on vacations. It's 100 or more people that go with my family. So I'm entertained because I'm with my family and friends, and I don't need that. And you got to get to a place in your singleness that you're comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you can't be comfortable with you, then I'm going to be expecting Jack to fulfill all this uncomfortableness. And Jack's sitting there like, whoa, okay, yesterday you needed me to hold. Today you don't want me to touch you. Oh, do you need a kiss? I mean, that's not fair to him. So I need to get a netta together. So when Jack come in there, Jack like, I got to hold a netta instead of the broken fragments of a netta. So for me, what I need from relationships, from a man, I need him to be his genuine self. Everything else we can work through.
You had mentioned something earlier, and it's real important too. You mentioned earlier that sex is not as important to you. To be honest with you, as a woman, sex doesn't supposed to be important to you. The only reason why sex will be important to you is because the emotional attachment behind it.
Mhm.
But however, us being as men, the reason why sex is important to us as men is because sex is physical, first of all. The second part of it is because we look at sex as a form of intimacy, as being a reward for us. You know what I'm saying? You're showing us that you appreciate us by allowing us to use your body in a good way to have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is with us, being honest. Men, we're more physical with sex than emotional with sex.
Right.
All right.
True.
Yeah.
But women, on the other hand, they're more emotional.
Mhm.
So this is the reason why it's easier for women to attach on to men who are just players and stuff. They just have sex and they're attaching on to them because they're attached to the emotional part of it. Then they're trying to figure out, like, hold on, why is this dude now ghosting me now? I thought we had a
It's all a
connection here,
physical thing for him.
but it was physical for him.
Mhm.
But it was a connection with you. So now you're feeling some type of way in your mind, like, hold on, man, hold on. This ain't making sense. But you got to understand that men are physical, women are more intimate or emotional a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
And I've talked about that on the show before. I said men love with thought and women love with emotions. And that's where the conflict is, because a lot of times you'll hear a woman say, you don't love me, because they're looking for him to love them emotionally the way that they love him. But we don't love with emotion. We love with thought. So we're always thinking about how we're going to show you, whether it's intimacy or buying you things or doing, we think about what we're going to do and then we do it. Whereas you women often love by emotions. You're showing that emotional side, and then they're looking at the man to give that same type of emotion back to them, or that same feeling back. And the man say, I do love you. And he think he's doing things to show you that he loves you, but because you're not getting that emotional feeling, you're constantly in that battle with him because you're saying you don't love me. And he's saying, well, what do I need to do? What do I have to do to show you that I love you? And again, he's saying show you. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not saying, well, how do I have to act or what emotions? He's saying, what do I have to do to show you that I love you? Because that's how men respond. We show, we think about things and we give you. That's how men respond.
Yeah, because
you guys are outer and we are inner. So inner is always the emotional, outer is always the show.
Right.
So in many cases, I had a guy that said to me about 6 months ago, I love you. And I don't use that word loosely. It's really hard for me to say I love you to another person. So when they said it to me, they said it very nonchalant, like matter of fact. And I was like, did you just say what? And I was like, did you say that LOVE word? Like the heart shape? And the person was looking at me like, yeah, I said that. I was like, wow, that's impactful. And a couple of days went by and the person said to me, he was like, I said, I love you and I care about you. And you wowed me. I was like, okay,
How long had you been dating or talking?
Probably a year and a half.
Okay, so it has been a while though. Okay.
And so I was like, did I not reply the way you wanted me to reply? And he was like, yeah, So my head was like, do you want me to say something that's not there? Because then I'm lying to you. Okay. I'm lying to you about I love you. I said, I care about you as another human being and as a person that I've been connected to for years.
That shit don't work.
But I'm not in love with you.
Yeah. So it's about
do you know how much it takes for a man to say I love you to a woman? You know how much that takes a lot. That takes a lot.
He was saying that because he was trying to get some. His actions did not match what he was saying.
Even when they're trying to get some, that using that L word like that, that's like the last resort in most cases. You
I don't believe it.
I
don't believe it.
That's actually true.
I love things about you. I might tell a person, I say, I love things about, and I've had women get upset with me about that. I said, It's like, do you love me? I said, I love things about you. I said, but I'm not in love with you. I said, that's a big difference. I said, there are certain things I love about you, and I enjoy talking and being with you and spending time. I said, but I'm not in love with you. And some people don't understand that.
And see, one of the things is,
well, you do know I got predominantly brothers, so I'm a little rough around the edges when it comes to that area.
A little.
So like I said, one of the things is when you're looking for a response, like I said, life is about science and math. Greater than, less than, and equal. So if somebody says, I love you, and you say, wow, that shit ain't equal. It's so less than, so that has people all jacked up. So people be really looking for when you.
Well, I feel like you coming at me. Don't be using my story for your little commentary. That ain't equal. You say I love you, you say, wow, that ain't equal.
Yeah, y'all say I sit here and observe, but when I do say something, y'all try to chop that down.
But it's just funny how every time you do say something, it's always another.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
All I'm gonna say is this: this needs to be one of the 100 questions. See, people laugh at me when I talk about the 100 questions, and every
what
time
needs to be one of the 100 questions, Herb?
What is love to you?
That'd be better than your abortion question.
A lot of people won't even have the answer for that.
But this is why I have the 100 questions, because it gives an individual a chance to actually think in real time and not come through with some fabricated nonsense that they don't heard from somebody else. We always talk about the art of conversation, communication. It's lost because people don't practice or engage in it. So when you're sitting there with these quote unquote 100 questions, however you formulate the questions, whatever questions you come up with, it gives you a chance to engage in dialogue and develop communication rapport with the individual that you're dealing with. I don't have a problem with it personally. Some people do. Some people are uncomfortable in their own skin, so they can't really sit there and have a discussion because they don't want to be exposed. And this is something we talked about at Je ne sais quoi. It's a lot easier for people to have sex than it is for them to reveal an inner portion of themselves. And that's why I would say, just like you said, Anetta, you have to get fine with yourself before you can start to be fine with somebody else. Me, I'm so comfortable with myself that sometimes I have to stop myself from walking outside unclothed because I'm not comfortable with myself. As crazy as that seems, that's how comfortable I am with myself, regardless if I'm overweight, fit, or whatever the case is. And when you have that level of self-comfort, nothing offends you, you're not offended by nothing, and you take life as it comes at you, and you're able to deal with it as a reasonable, rational person. And I want to get back to answer the question. I know this is how David's going to take this answer. For me, it's simple. Can I sit in the same room with you, watch my football, and we can do something later? Or can we do something whenever we plan to, and we both enjoy it? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody I can do something with at a given moment, whether we plan or we just say, let's go do this. Because I'm the type of person that likes to do certain things. Like, case in point, I don't live far enough to get the opportunity to see the Aurora Borealis. Yes, I'm kind of a nerd in that regard. So the few times that it's happened, I've took a junket out to Arcot, sat out there on the shores of Lake Ontario to watch and see it, and we didn't get to do it. But it was just the opportunity to be out there with somebody that I like sharing that type of outing with. Are people as crazy as it sounds? Those are the type of things that I like to do.
So let me ask you a question, bro. What if that person don't mind being spontaneous like you, but just not all the time? Would that be a disqualification for you?
No, because depending on our work schedule, we may not have that ability to do what we want to at that particular moment. That's why I'm a proponent of planning. But if the opportunity arises, like let's say 4 or 5 days now, I get a report. via email or whatever the case is. You know, the weather's might be good. The aurora borealis is supposed to be peeking out, or might be a comet coming through, a meteor shower. Like, yo, hey, let's go out here and see if we can check this out. And if they can't, yeah, that's fine. Okay.
A meteor shower.
I'm telling you, man, I am a space geek.
I see that.
Herb, you too romantic for me, man. You real romantic.
I'm a space geek, man. I actually own a telescope, and when I get it together, I'm gonna be sitting out doing some stargazing. That's just the type of person I am. I mean, just imagine.
So Herb,
Yes.
That's one of your dating that's one of your dating alludes that you would say to a woman, we can go and watch the stars and stuff like that.
Why not? Have you ever gone out to a park after hours and just laid on a blanket?
No, Herb, I'm all about that life. I like the
Oh,
stars.
okay.
I went on dates where we just sat by the water and listened to the water and had some jazz music on while we sitting.
Yeah.
So I'm that girl. I'm about that life. So
Okay.
I like that. But that wouldn't be nothing. That's some, like I said, I'm gonna do that for you because I like to compromise. Okay.
No. It's not
But
for
that ain't
me.
gonna be we ain't going
It's
to watch
not.
no stars frequently. I'll be like, okay, we're gonna
It's
watch
not
some
for.
stars.
It's not for me. It's for us.
But if that's not my interest, that's for you.
No. If that's not your interest, then I'm not going to do it with you.
You're eliminated.
But see, there lies the problem. Allow them to say they don't want to do that because the part about dating is collecting data. And
compromise
that's
too.
The scopes of collecting data is compromising and being willing to. Like, I love football, so any guy I date and he love football, we gonna be good money because I ain't talking through no game. I ain't doing nothing to that. I'm gonna be right there on like what? So that's a compromise. But if he like hockey, I'm gonna have to think about going to like 2 games instead of all games because that's not
unless you go in the suite.
Yeah, let me.
That is a different situation.
Let me reveal this on truth real quick. All right, let me reveal this on this truth. Right, every woman do things with men because they're compromising. It ain't because they want to do it. They do it because they want to compromise.
Are you married?
I am.
He's married.
Oh, okay.
So I know. Is it me echoing, by the way? Because I heard the echo.
I hear it too. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it me?
I don't think it's me.
Is it me?
I think it is you.
It is. I'm gonna want to drop down and come back real quick. Okay.
No, just mute yourself. You'll be able to tell.
Is it me echoing?
I don't hear it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, me. I'm gonna drop down real quick.
So we do compromise as women, and that's a part of that dating. And I want to let him know that I'm interested. I want him to, feel me and this and that. So we do that. So I have questions, guys, tonight.
Okay, we here for it.
We always here for it.
Yeah.
Y'all too excited to answer any of my questions. So I told y'all a few months ago that I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic and open about dating. So I'm finding out that I'm not as open as I think I am.
You just finding that out?
You know, Anetta, I have the perfect thing for you. I have to dig it up. Remember, David, when we did the Teal Swan experiment? Like a little over a year ago? When we asked, I think there's like a series of 4 questions.
They wasn't on there then.
Correct. I'm going to have to dig that up for you. And I'll bring it up on the broadcast, and we can do that again, because I think that was very insightful, because a lot of people got to learn a lot of things about themselves.
So when somebody brought that to your attention, or this is something you discovered?
No, I went out on a date with somebody, and I literally sat at the table and excused my whole body, mind, everything out away from the table. Like, I literally was in space. And I was like, okay, why did I just do that? Like, did I just totally shut down? And I realized, and I did it not once, but a couple times. And I was like, oh, I'm not as open to dating as I thought I was. You know. Thank
Yeah.
you, the person. Y'all so stupid. I need you to get paid.
Yeah, a lot of
Hey,
people.
Anetta, ask yourself 100 questions from the perspective that you're going to answer them honestly. That's when you'll start to actually open up about being transparent in dating.
Okay.
That's the advice I'll give. I'll simple whatever 100 questions you want to know about somebody else, and then answer them for yourself.
100 questions.
100 questions.
100. That's
That's a lot of
At
questions.
least at least 20. At least
I can
20
do
to
that.
20
Who
to
got
40.
that? Who got that echo?
I don't know. That's why I'm checking all my stuff.
I don't know. Is it me?
You're not echoing.
Oh, okay.
I'm echoing. Herb is echoing.
Just somebody else.
I
Yeah, it
ain't
sounds like
echoing.
somebody echo cancellation is off.
And I turned all my stuff off. I just have my
You guys
my
want me
laptop
to, you want
on.
me to sign out and come back in? Is it me echoing?
It's not you because you're not echoing. You're not echoing.
Oh.
Is it me?
You're echoing.
I think it
I'm
might be me.
Yeah, it might be you. Come on, man.
Dave is echoing.
Somebody said Willie Herb and the other gentleman.
Yeah.
No, I just turned off my phone. So it's not
I
me.
turned my phone off too.
That's
I don't know
wild.
what's going on tonight. You want me to run this show? I got this show. Hello, guys.
No, we usually good, huh? If somebody got something else on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all three of us are echoing, and Anetta, you're not echoing.
Because Anetta is fabulous. That's why.
It's probably Anetta that's echoing. Watch this.
You don't rig the show.
Anyways, people, we're not gonna put the focus on this.
No.
Dave, you're such a hater lately.
Stop. You know that's not me. I'm one of the nicest people you know.
He's such a hater of me lately.
What's our next
Your
topic? Because I
mom
gotta see
really
what
likes me. Hi, Mom. How you doing, Mom?
Where your mom at?
Dave's mom likes me.
Oh.
She do. All right,
Must
so the
think you're a
next
nice
topic
person.
let me see, because y'all got me. How does money and credit affect relationship?
How does what?
Money and credit affect relationship.
You asked this question after love?
Yeah, well, it all connects.
Ooh.
Well, see,
If
that
you
one
don't
don't.
have no money,
My situation with money and credit is so different.
and you got bad credit.
But what do people consider bad credit? I have this discussion all the time.
Instantly, that's bad credit. Bad credit, I think bad credit is anything under 750.
So I have horrible credit then.
And no money is somebody if you go out to dinner and like I went out with this really nice guy to Mothers. You know Mothers, Willie.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know Mothers. So next time you come in town, Dave and Herb, I'm gonna take y'all to Mothers.
Do they serve breakfast?
No.
Oh,
You know
I
they
can't go
open
there.
after 3.
I can't go there.
You ain't paying, Ninja. You would go because you ain't paying.
Yeah.
Didn't I just say I was gonna take y'all out? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, she
Okay.
said she gonna take us out.
But I'm good then. I can go there.
This question is a good question because any dude that sit there and act cheap, I don't want to date you because that's not how I live. You know what I'm saying? One thing my ex-husband did teach me is when we went on cruises, trips, out to dinner, he said if we got to sit here and count,
Pony, you ain't supposed to be going.
Okay. And he taught me one good thing about this is that you go and you live your life, have fun, because this sitting here, you're not going to get, you know what I'm saying? So I'm real strategic about that. I know people who don't have credit, but they got money.
That's right. You can look at Theo telling you that right there on the show.
Right. I know people who got good credit, but not
And
that
got
much
shit.
money.
That's right.
So my thing is, it's all about balance. I'd be funny and say that, but where I'm at in my life, I'm financially good. So I would not. It would be I would be a fool of a woman to date somebody who does not have good money, who does not have good money skills, who does not
I'd
have
say money management
financial
skills is more
skills.
important than.
I would be dumb to date somebody who is not there, because what happens is I'm going to be taking care of him, and that's going to be a resentful relationship. It's going to be a meaningless relationship. It just might just be good sex, and that's not good, okay? Because that's only going to last momentarily. So I'm not hooked on money in a relationship. I'm not hooked on that, but I do think it's a factor of the relationship, because you want somebody who knows how to. They pay their bills and they know how to handle their business.
Well, yeah.
Let me ask this. So what if that person tells you that's a weakness of theirs, but they're a good person, but they say, I need help with this.
Then that's
and they
different.
come out.
But also,
you got to be in that place to help somebody. I'm not in a Build-A-Bear stage. So I'm not in the stage where I want to help build.
See, this is where everything goes wrong. Everything goes wrong. Because we supposed to build the damn Barbie. We supposed to build the damn Barbie.
But you can't build a bear.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all want y'all sis to be honest, right? I'm being honest, okay? So my thing is, at this stage in my life, when you're in your 50s, you don't want to be sitting here like, okay, so you about to make this business deal work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work this time. You're not gonna be in that state of, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in that state of mind. I at least want somebody who knows how to budget. Now, if a man come to me and he say he got his stuff together, he like, oh, I'm glad I'm with you now, because I don't like paying this bill. I don't like to be in charge of doing this. But he put his stuff is together. I wouldn't mind that. But if you come in and your stuff is raggedy, and you come and talk about, well, I'm not good with money, and my car note is behind, and this and this and that, bruh, you might as well be like Forrest Gump. I need you to run till the braces fall off. Because that's you know what I'm saying? That's not where you at. You know, I hear what you're saying, Nookie, but I don't care how much I like you. If you messed up financially, I'm not
bad.
Bank of America. I'm not M&T. I'm not Bank on Buffalo. I'm not Wells Fargo. I'm not about to sit here as a financial planner and help you decide what's good and what's not good. That's not a part of my relationship goals.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And I can relate to that. That's why I asked you, like I said, for me, my relationships, especially with money, and I do financial planning and trainings and workshops, especially with kids. And my situation is so unique and different from other people that I know nobody's like me. My credit, when that's why I asked you what's a good credit score or a bad credit score, my credit score right now is an 8. Okay. My credit score is an 8. It used to be 0 for the last 15, 20 years. It just went to an 8 because I owe my dentist $200. But that I have no debt. I have no credit cards. I have no mortgages. I have no car notes. I have no debt at all.
Your credit score should not be an 8, Ninja.
It was 0. It was 0 because I have no credit. I owe no one.
No, you're not about to sit here and manipulate my brain.
Want me to send it? I'll see. I'll show it to you.
Okay, your credit score. I just don't.
My credit score was a 0. My credit score was a 0 up until January. It's because I went to the dentist and I forgot to pay a bill that they sent to me back in like November or something. So they sent it to a credit union, a credit collection thing. And they told me, send me a bill said I owed like $190 something. And so when I ran and checked my Expedia credit score, I check it every year, and it said my credit score is now an 8. 8. That's what my score is, an 8. It was a 0. And it's been a 0 forever. And
okay, so this is my question. I'm good with no debt. You know, somebody said no debt. No debt is perfect because you talk about somebody who paid their mortgage off. So I'm good with that. But my thing is, My credit, I can't see. I've never seen a credit score to 8, so I don't even know. I'm gonna have to study.
And
this
a lot of people never, and that's what
I'm gonna have
happens.
to call my ex-husband and definitely have him tell me about this. I'm not no banker or nothing. I'm not no financial whatever. But not a credit score is an 8. I mean,
And it was a 0. And think about it. If you owe, especially like I said, it's been 15, 20 years. It wasn't like I just now had it. 15, 20 years. I've never had a credit card. I had a credit card 20 years ago. No car notes, no mortgages, no student loans, all those things. I had them when I was in college. I paid it off after 1 year, all that stuff. So for 20 years, everything I pay for is cash. And I'm trying to get a credit card now. I'm going to get a credit card now through my business, only because now they're starting to require you to have a credit card instead of a debit card.
So how you gonna get a credit card with a credit score of 8? What credit card? You gonna get secure credit card?
I'm gonna get it through my business, through my corporation, which is it won't affect me
on your credit. They still go by your social security number.
No, not if you have an LLC.
No. What they'll do is they'll look at the finances of the business, because he's taking out a business line of credit. So the business line of credit is going to be predicated on the business's finances and not his own.
And it doesn't apply to me at all. So that way I can get a credit card through my business, and I can use it like when I travel to get a rent a car. That's all I need a credit card for, is to get a rent a car. Other than that, prior to that, I was always using my debit card. But everything I pay, everything I buy, everything I own, I pay cash for. I had 20 houses in the city of Buffalo. I paid cash all except for one of them. And I paid that mortgage off for 7 years.
And you still got a credit score of an 8?
It was 0. It was 0
I ain't
until.
trying to be in your business. You're gonna have to send that. You're gonna have to do it.
I'll post it.
I can't fathom. I don't understand that. And my grandfather taught me.
A lot of people can't fathom it.
He told me, he said, I was 18 when my first credit card was M&A's. Y'all remember M&A's?
Mm-hmm.
That was my first credit card. And he said, I want you to get this credit card. It was $500. And he was like, listen, you're going to pay on it every time you buy something. So that's how I think about my credit card. Every time I buy, like if I got gas tonight, I spent $49 getting gas. I immediately came home, started doing stuff, and I immediately went right on and paid the $49. You know what I'm saying, to the credit card. So that's how I move with my credit cards. Like if my bills and stuff, if my gas bill is due on May 14th, I pay it on May 4th, 10 days before the due date.
Right.
So
because you're trying to keep a credit score up, though.
Correct.
Right. And see, I have no need for credit.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. When I say I'm addicted, I got all types of little devices on my phone for my credit score. So I'm literally, it let me know if it's going up, if it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, that's kind of like a lifeline in the society that we live in right now.
Not necessarily. And see, it's only because that's what people hear. That's what people hear. But like I said, for 20 years, I've been doing this, and it's not easy to do. Like I said, I've been doing it for so long because I moved out when I was 16. I had to take care of myself. And so I learned from my stepfather how to do what I'm doing. And over the years, I've learned to do that. So for me, like I said, everything if I need something, I pay cash for it. If I want something, if I want to go on a trip or whatever. So think about it. Now think about it this way, Annetta. Say, for example, you have no car note, you have no credit cards, you have no student loans, you have nothing other than, say, your rent and your utilities and your cell phone. So now think about it. If that's all you have to pay every month, couldn't you pay all that out of one check?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So now what would you do with those other checks you get throughout the month?
I handle my finances a little
bit.
But
I'm saying you would
be but that's what he's saying. Let me jump in here for a moment, Willie.
So Annetta, you saving that amount of money every month for a year.
Right.
So now you have, say, at the end of the year, you got $40,000, $50,000. Do you need a credit card? Do you need a debit card? All you need is that debit card to make your purchases because you're
Yeah,
still
I
paying
get-
everything out of that
So
first check.
if you got somebody who is saving in that aspect, if you're saving $40,000-$50,000 a year, then I can see you saying, no, I don't need no credit. No, I don't. Me, I don't just abuse my credit. I have one credit card I use frequently. My other two credit cards I have, they are emergency cards because I travel so much, and I was on a cruise and got sick and had to spend $5,000 or more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until I got home and got stuff reimbursed. So those are, for me, are great tools for that purpose only.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm not, and I travel so much, I use my Southwest credit card because it gives me points. So everything is always a driven reason why I'm using it. But I do
But you're
believe
paying for points. See, and like I said, it's all a mindset. It's all a mindset based on what your purpose. Like you said, you get points and all those things. Is whereas I look at it and I say, well, in order for me to get points, I got to use that money from them and then pay the money back. Whereas I can use my own money and be able to do the stuff I want to do. And like I said, I've been doing this for so long. So just imagine, even if you saving $2,000 a month over 20 years, you know what I'm saying? You paying all your bills and you saving $2,000 a month over 20 years. You know how much money that is? Because you don't have all those bills. You don't have all those credit cards. You don't have all those mortgages, car notes, all those things that you would normally be paying. You pay them all off, and now you're only paying whatever your rent is, whatever your cell phone is, whatever your utilities are. So other than that, everything else you can save. And when you need money, you pull it right out of your bank account off your debit card, and you go pay for that trip. You pay for that car. You pay when I go buy a car, I pay cash for my cars. I don't get a car note. But I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing it so long that it's just the way I am. And people say, "Oh, you're cheap," but I'm not cheap because I'm like you. If it's something I want to do or somewhere I want to go, then I'll go and do it. But this is just the way I live. So,
right.
I've been doing this.
Y'all so stupid. Well, if that's how you feel, I'm gonna be a consumer for the rest of my life with good credit and money in the bank.
Well, this is just like you said, Annetta. It's two different ways of looking at it.
About using credit, I just say, like in my program, I tell people, I said, you don't need 3, 4, 5, 6 credit cards. You know what I mean? When you're doing things like that, you're just basically paying 3, 4, 5. You're always paying something out. Even if you just have one credit card and you only use it when you need something, not when you want something, when you need something.
Right.
And that's the thing. A lot of people buy stuff they want versus what they need.
Yeah.
And when you start to get that mindset, and like I said, I moved out when I was 16, and my stepfather taught me how to do this. So I've been doing it since I was 16 years old, and it just became such a habit to me now, that I can pay all my bills off of one check, and then whenever I go out and I write a book or I do a workshop, all that money is money I can do whatever I want to do with, but I don't spend it because I don't need anything. And that's I hear people often say that they don't need anything. I don't need anything. And that's something my ex-wife couldn't understand, is that whenever she wanted to do something, wherever she wanted to go, cruise, hotels, flights, whatever I want to go. Okay, cool. I want some Chris Louboutin. What size you wear? Boom. I go get them. And she couldn't understand it. She couldn't understand that, that's how I was. I didn't want anything. I never asked her for anything, but because I knew those are things she wanted, I would get it for her. And she just couldn't understand how I was able to do the thing. Her family couldn't understand it, but that's how I've always been. And they couldn't understand how I did the things I did. I haven't worked in 3 years because of pandemic. So imagine not working for 3 years and still doing all the stuff I still do every day. 3 years.
And I don't think Willie's knocking being a consumer. Or I'm sorry, I don't think y'all so stupid as knocking being a consumer. I think what it is there needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
Between being a consumer and being an over consumer. So nobody's saying if you have the cash flow to go out and buy a Mercedes S-Class or a BMW or Range Rover, are you putting yourself at a financial deficit when you do that? Because it's just like Theo Wack was saying, He uses cash when he go. There's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a $10,000 trip, using the bank's credit card, and like you said, Annette, when you get back, you scratch that check, and that $10,000 you charge, you've gotten that money for free. This leads into another component of why people shouldn't actually be getting tax refunds. They should be taking that money up front, paying it, and then owing the government, because what you owe the government in terms of taxes and interest is going to be significantly lower than the interest that the bank charges you. That's another thing that people don't understand about finances.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. See, for me, I have a $72,000 credit with the IRS, so I don't even worry about stuff like that.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Huh?
You got
I have a
$72,000
$72,000 credit with the IRS right now. So
okay, so why they didn't just send you a refund check?
It's a credit. Hold on. It's a credit.
It's a credit.
Yeah,
for business.
that
so
means
every year I just deduct it
I
from.
don't know about all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying I don't
Willie
know.
got the
I know.
good hustle
So, say
game.
for example, I have a
Well,
corporation, right? So
right.
my corporation has a $72,000 credit. So every time I make a profit or write off or whatever,
It's coming out of that.
it just comes off of that. So if I say I had, after everything, all my deductions and everything, I had made $20,000. $20,000 comes off of that $72,000. So now I still have a $52,000 credit.
That's next level, Willie. They ain't ready for that, Willie.
$50,000 credit. Now it's down.
That's
to
next level, Willie. That's next level. They ain't ready for that.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
next
That's what I
level.
said. But I've been doing this for so long, and this is the kind of things I teach people in my financial literacy program. I'm teaching kids this, how to do these things, so this way they don't have to go to college and get a student loan. You use insurance and draw from that, have the parents draw from that insurance and pay for their college, and that comes off the death benefits, and you don't have to pay that money back. Those are the kind of things I'm teaching people how to do, so that way our kids can go into what you call real generational wealth,
Right.
and create opportunities for themselves.
You know, it's a one question.
I teach in the schools. These are the programs I teach in the schools. These are the programs I teach with kids all over the country.
Now, this is the one thing I asked my younger brother when he came to town last week, not this Sunday, but last week Sunday. I said, I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to give you any parenting advice. But the only question I'm going to ask you is, have you opened a 539 savings plan for your child?
Who?
I asked my younger brother this question about his child, and the thing about that is what that does is similar to what Willie's talking about. Is it allows you to defer money similar to what your 401k is, and that money comes off your taxable income. So when your taxable income drops, you're not paying as much in taxes. See, these are all the things that wealthy people do, and it's like Willie said, they get that business line of credit. So before he's paying anything out in taxes, he has to exceed that $72,000 a year threshold. Once he does that, he's only paying taxes on the amount above the 72. These are all the things that we as Black people we don't know, we don't understand, and we don't employ. So if if you have a little business, get a C corp.
That's why they
get
tell
an LLC.
people. That's why they tell people to
all of that.
Always
get it.
Some kind of a business and use that to write off your resources, your travel, your food, your lunch,
gas, everything, lunches. Yeah.
I have a LLC. I have a nonprofit. I have a C corp. I have a DBA. so this is what I do, and this is what I teach people.
But see, that's the issue. You want to bring that into the schools, but the schools don't want that to be
exactly,
taught.
and that's
they don't
why
want
I have
that to be taught. So therefore, it's the whole plan is to keep them ignorant. Whatever you have to have this stuff outside, like private meetings, like they have private meetings on the side, meetings before the meetings happen. So that's the issue. Because
the local school district where I am, and y'all know where I am right now, they won't even talk to me no more about my program. They don't even want to bring they won't even bring my programs back into the schools anymore. The kids kept requesting it, and they won't even bring it back into the schools anymore.
It's part of the 100 questions, man. What is your financial literacy?
The kids been asking about it and asking when is it going to come back, and they won't even bring it back into the school district here. So right now I'm working on a contract. Buffalo City Schools just contacted me. They want me to do a 12-week program in several schools. And I'm working with a group in Toronto right now with the Ontario School District. And I sent them the same proposal for 12-week programs, and we're going to do those virtual. But I'm also looking at getting vaccinated so I can go to Canada and do some of the programs up there as well. But I'm talking to groups. I'm doing stuff in India. I'm doing stuff, in all these different countries. But when I try to do things in certain schools in the U.S., they don't want that because they don't want kids to be financially fit.
They want them tethered. Yeah, they want them tethered to the system financially.
They want them to be workers and laborers and go out and work in the field. They don't want them to be able to create their own wealth and opportunities because that takes away from the workforce.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. When even the fact that when you say they'll remove them, they don't want them to work in the workforce. When they remove trade should be in every school and every because that takes
and that's
away
how it used to be
from the day. That takes away. Could you imagine somebody 19, 20 could come out and make 60, 70,000 a year? They don't want that plan to happen because that means that's a young, productive family that's striving, whatever. So they push this college thing. I wish I would have knew some damn trade back in the days, because I hate to say it, as the Jay-Z of school counseling, that shit is crap, whatever. If you think about it, like going to school all this time. I mean, I know certain professions you have to have this and that, but if you
that's what I was talking about earlier. When I said I moved out when I was 16, my stepfather has told me, he said, I'm going to show you how to buy real estate, but I want you to graduate and go to college in case it don't work out for you. So I end up graduating, going to college, learning real estate. But then when I bought my first two houses, I went to night school for electrical. I went back to night school vocational for carpentry. I went for plumbing. And then that's how I was able to start all the other businesses. I had a property management company, getting into home inspections. Because of all the things I kept learning, it made me more valuable to the point now where, I was just telling Annetta the other day, I said, I just picked up a contract with an organization I'm working with, helping to rehab some houses in Buffalo. Yeah. I'm just overseeing the rehabs that they're doing. And the money that they pay me is just, I mean, you'd be surprised.
And not only that, there's something else you said that triggered a thought. Habitat for Humanity, they go through and they build homes for low-income people, but that money is guaranteed because those are federal programs. So if you can do HVAC, plumbing, electrical, welding, you will never be out of a job. Right. The longer you do it, the better you get, the more money you make. So you get to the point where you become a master welder, master electrician, master plumber. Those jobs are paying $25 an hour.
And this is what I learned. Like I said, I was doing electrical, plumbing, heating, but then I started doing inspections. And then I told the kids, I said, not everybody's going to go to college. So find programs where you can go to school for 3 months or 6 months and get certifications.
Bingo.
I just got certified as a lead renovator 3 weeks ago. Okay. For that lead renovator, which took me inspections. I do weatherization inspections. I'm certified BPI. I got all these certifications. And then, like I said, a lot of them take anywhere from a month to 6 months to get. But people know me out there because I have all these credentials. So my value, and then on top of that, I teach these programs. I teach people how to do these things. And I teach them how to maintain properties. So now you got that on top of the books I write and the programs I do. So that's why I say I teach these things to kids, showing them how to take the skills they have and use those, how to start their own business. They can still go to school and get a degree, but if they already have things they enjoy doing and know how to make money doing those things, everything else becomes gravy for them.
And not only that, what Willie is doing is he's putting himself in an exclusive circle of people. And we always talk about networks. That network allows you to increase your value. So when somebody needs something, they're not going to look for somebody online. They're not going to look in the yellow pages. They're going to use their connections and say, hey, do you know anybody who does HVAC or who does asbestos abatement or who is certified to watch this stuff? They're going to say, hey, yo, look, here's a name. He's already been certified. He's already been cleared. You're right there. You're bypassing the line.
Heard about me that I'm contracted with now. That somebody told them about me because they needed someone to do oversee the rehab of these homes, and all I do is monitor the rehabs and go in and write up the inspection reports and everything for the properties, and that's what I do.
So as we can see, it's a lot of ways to go about this. Other than when we look at money, credit. Some people say, "Oh, I don't put the emphasis on credit or whatever. I pay everything cash," and they might have a stash or whatever the case is. And I guess the bottom line to it is, when you're in a relationship, could you hold up your end of the bargain? I think that's the key thing. If you're someone
but you got to have somebody that equals you too. You don't want somebody just draining off of your, like Annetta said earlier. You're not trying to train somebody. You might want to support a person because you see their potential and you see that they're doing something, but you're not trying to build that. You know what I mean? Trying to help that person. Like what you call it? Build a bear. What you call it, Annetta?
Build a bear. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you can't talk because I muted it.
That's not what you want. You want somebody that you can.
It's not me.
It is you. I'm telling you, it's you. Watch this. Watch when I mute you. Go ahead. Somebody talk.
Hey,
you just did.
Now it's good.
Shoot.
I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, because it's gone now.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And stocks, like somebody's mentioning here, my man mentioning here with mutual funds and stock market. That's one of the main things I teach in my program. That's the last 3 weeks of program. That's what we do with the kids. Introduction to the stock market and dividend stocks, and introduce to those things, and showing them showing them all the ways that they can make money. And that's my whole premise. When I walk into a program, my first day, I'm saying, how many of y'all want to be rich? How many of y'all want to be wealthy? And then I get them to understand what the difference between the two is. And then we get into going into these programs and showing them how to invest in the stock market, how to start your own business. And every person who's, even like yourself, Annetta, with what you do, you should start an LLC or a C Corp. A LLC would be good for you. Because now you take that and
I have somebody working on my LLC now.
Yeah, get your LLC, and with that LLC, when you go out for a meeting or that restaurant that you like to go to, you talk business for 5, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and that's a write-off.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can go to all the restaurants you want to go to. You can go on business trips, write all those things off, and see. Then you will have that $72,000 credit with the IRS. And then you don't have to worry about it either.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about having these programs with adults outside of the school, with adults just meeting up and having these conversations?
Yes, that's why I started the nonprofit. That's why I started the Better You Lifestyle. And I've been applying for grants because, like I said, we were doing this with the kids. But when you do it with the entire family, that's where you really see the change. So that's why I started the Better You Lifestyle nonprofit back in September. And so we just got our first grant about 2 weeks ago. And so we're working on getting some other grants. And that's what we're trying to do, is a financial literacy with youth and their families. So this way, when they start a family business, they invest together, they buy real estate together. They do all these things they do as a family unit versus, because the thing was, we were teaching the kids all this stuff and they going home to family who had no clue what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I started the nonprofit, because we want to incorporate the entire family. And a lot of the stuff I do, as you see, is free. God has blessed me that, like I said, I haven't worked in 3 years. I haven't worked in 3 years, and don't worry about it. But I've been blessed that I still do the stuff that I do. And I still do free things, and I still travel. I still do all the things that I want to do. But my goal is to help young people and families to have a better lifestyle. That's why we named the agency A Better You Lifestyle.
And you know what the funny thing about what we're talking about here is we have a lot of single mothers who get a lot of money back at income tax time. So whether it's $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000, they never take that money collectively and invest it. So just imagine.
Nobody's ever taught them. That's why.
Oh no, exactly. And I'm going to lay out what could happen as opposed to what is happening. Just imagine if you get 4 women together. They go buy 2 duplexes. They'll still qualify for all the programs, but that money now goes into their pockets because they're buying those buildings that they live in. So they can move out of those buildings, move into other buildings, and still qualify. By the time those kids get to be 18 and they're off the public assistance dole, they could own about 4 or 5 properties. Yeah, and all of a sudden,
I talked about this with Lakia when we were talking about NACA on my show. Yeah. A lot of people don't know they have these home buyers programs, these first-time home buyers programs, and they encourage people to buy single-family homes. Yes, you can buy up to a 4-unit home.
Bingo.
As a first-time home buyer with these programs.
Yep.
So imagine you buy a house and you buy a 3-unit or a 4-unit or a double, and you only have to stay in that house for 4 years, 5 years,
and you're free.
Now get this. This is the thing they'll tell you about. After 5 years, you can become a first-time home buyer again.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually go and buy another property, 3-4 units, a double or a single for yourself, and have that 4-unit paying for that single family home, or you can buy another 3 or 4 unit home and do the same thing again. Every 5 years, you become a first-time home buyer again. They don't tell you that stuff. And these are the kind of things I teach people. These are the kind of things I show people. Like I said, I had 20 houses in Buffalo. I sold all my houses because I do too many things. I just didn't have want to put that much time into being stuck in real estate anymore. But I had 20 houses. All of them were free and clear, all paid for. No mortgages, no nothing.
So as y'all can see, these conversations, it's a lot to be learned. It's a lot of resources. It's a lot of different things.
I'm muted and y'all sound horrible.
No.
Hater. Yeah,
Every time you unmute yourself and you come on, that's where the echo come in.
He's a hater.
Get your shit right, Queen. So there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of different things that's been thrown out there. You'll never learn this shit from school.
No.
When you have people coming on telling you about this different thing, this is the opportunity to say, hey, Willie A. Price, who speaks absolutely nothing but the truth. Let me inbox him or find out about it. Herb was saying this. Let me inbox him this. Annetta knows this. Let me figure this out. Oh, David know about this, whatever. So this is not just we getting on here just to be talking. And then you have people in the chat that's showing you a different way. So
I'm gonna tell you, don't call me about no credit. Okay. I'm gonna tell you now.
See,
I'm anal impulsive about my credit. My credit.
But you can have both. There's no reason why you can't have both. You can still have the credit and you can still have the cash flow.
Look, all I know is pay your bills on time. That your savings account should look like, if you lost your job, that you should be able to pay your bills for the next 4 to 5 years out of your savings account. That's what I know.
That's what I do. I told you I've been working 3 years.
That's all. That's all my grandfather and my uncles and dad have taught me. I don't know anything else, so I'm not expert in it.
Oh, that was quick.
There we go.
The lovable Lakia Perry on here.
So,
and just so people are aware,
for about 79 to 90,000, most houses on the average right now.
Just so people are aware, this coming November, I will have been in my house 10 years. I paid $42 for it. I took advantage of the first time home buyers program. It helped me with closing costs, and the gentleman that I bought the house from also helped me with closing costs. I also borrowed some money from my 401k when I was at the casino. So I didn't have to come out the pocket with anything. But the thing about it is you have to put yourself in the position to take advantage of these programs, and a lot of people don't, just
They don't
simply
know,
because
right.
we're financially ignorant. So when we're giving you this information, we're not pulling stuff out of the air. We're telling you what we actually have done, and we want other people to do, so we can get on par and start to get into this American dream that we always talk about and hope to be a part of. Stop hoping and start actually implementing the information that we're giving you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we
Who's
got
Annetta talking to?
we got
I
the,
know, right? She's having a whole conversation.
Annetta, who you talking to? You ain't talking to us. You ain't talking to us. Who you talking to? She just a going.
That's why I was like, is she
You
talking
muted.
to us?
Her hands are just going. I'm like, who is she talking to?
I didn't want to be rude, so I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing until she stopped talking.
So hey, Lakia, how you doing?
I'm well. What is y'all talking about? Sorry, I'm late. You know, I missed
we were talking about what does love look like, and we just happen to branch off in the finances. But I mean, it all works itself out.
Why, dude? Talk about I look like Scary J. Blige. I love that.
I couldn't figure out what the heck he was talking about.
Yo, Uncle Jerk, you said, yeah, you said he's a jackass, man.
Hilarious. Hotel. I'm at the Lago Hotel. I'm staying here for a couple of days because I have to work out here in these sticks in these counties. So I'm out here, and I had a late dinner, so that's why I was running late.
Did you write it off on your taxes?
Oh yeah, all of it's going off on my taxes. But
Bingo, see, that's what we're talking about.
The company I work with, they pay for the hotel, so that's bad.
I'm back.
There she is. Back. You talking to us now?
Yeah.
You talking to us now?
Hi, Latia. How you doing, beautiful?
How are you, darling? I'm well. Good
Girl,
to
I
see
just know
you.
y'all don't be leaving me on these panels with these Jangos.
Whatever that means.
Right? I was trying
we've been pleasant with you all night. All night.
I've been kind to her.
Of course.
They trying.
We pulled out a chair, dabbed her mouth when she has some dressing on the side, looked up a cup with the straw in it. We did everything except cutting meat.
Uncle Jerk said echo chamber is back. It's you.
Listen, maybe because I'm in my bedroom. Maybe I need to switch rooms. Hold on.
What are you talking on a mic on an iPhone or
on the iPad? I ain't gonna let y'all see all through my house.
iPad.
People know where I live at.
That's why we just do a background check.
Look, they be all in the house like, oh, that's a nice picture. Oh,
showing us all the rooms.
Right.
You asked the question. You asked the question what we was talking about.
Right.
And we said, how does money and credit affect relationships? So that's what we was talking about this segment.
Yeah, it affects it a lot, I think. If you're not on the same page, when it comes to, that's funny. I love this topic. So it's funny because, I think it depends on who you're dating. I think you have to be on the same page when it comes to finances and both being reciprocal when it comes to spending, both being mindful, being open about what you're doing. If you're coming together, bringing your finances together, being open about it. You have to be very transparent with each other when it comes to finance, especially if you want to have a successful relationship. Because sometimes one can spend more than the other. One can be a little bit more hold real tight with the money. The other one like, come on, let go a little bit, so we can do some things. And some people will be like, no, I'm cheap. I don't need all of that. I think I got on Will funny because he don't shop. Will like, I got everything I need. I don't need to shop. I'm like, really? Not to
Most
say,
men-
And see what you're saying is like people might say
in a
that's cheap.
relationship, that's how you go be.
But if you have what you need, I don't need anything and I don't want anything. So
Yeah.
for me, I only buy things that I want, and sometimes if I need something, I'll buy it. But I don't need anything, and
Yeah,
it's that if I want to do something, I'll go and do it. So I mean, like I said, the way I grew up and the way I raised myself, that's just my mindset. It's not being cheap because, like I said, if it's something I want to do, I'll do it. But it's I've done so much. I've done so much and I've traveled so many places and I've done all the things that I've wanted to do. So by the time the age I am now, there's not that much I really want to do or that I need to do. So I don't do too much other than, like I said, I do things with kids and I try to help other people create opportunities for themselves. I get more enjoyment out of that than I do out of traveling and spending money on stuff that I don't need.
Well, like, for me, I get what you're saying, but for me, I like to shop. It's not just like, we can try to hold on to our same clothes for years, but I like to rotate. I'll wear it for years and then give it away and buy something new and fresh.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, remember I shared that with you before. So I'm just saying, like, everybody has to be like, you have to have some commonality and be on the same page on how, financially things should be. Am I light skinned today? No, I'm gonna show my little hotel room.
But I think that's a fundamental difference between men and women, though. Most men don't shop like that. If a man's going out to buy a pair of jeans, that man is more than likely going to have those jeans for 4 or 5 years. If a man's going out to buy a suit, he's more than likely going to have that suit for a lifetime, especially if he's getting it tailor made.
Yeah. I have brand new suits right now that I haven't even worn, and I've had them like 4 or 5. Because of the pandemic, I had no reason to wear a suit, so I have like brand new suits.
Hold up, fellas. Y'all be talking about trying to catch these little young tenderollies, and y'all wearing these old ass prehistoric Fat Albert jeans out there. You ain't catching shit out there.
Who wearing Fat Albert jeans? Who wearing Fat Albert jeans?
South Pole and all that stuff.
Not me.
Yeah, I never brought it to the urban fashion. So I own one FUBU shirt, and that's pretty much it.
I'm messing with
Okay, so I have a question.
What's that?
So this is my question. So they always say that women want this and we shop and this and this and that. If I wear Louis Vuitton and I wear red bottoms and I can buy my own Gucci's and I do, because I'm a brand person. I ain't gonna sit here and deny it. I'm a brand girl all day. I don't do knockoffs. I'm a brandy. So if I can do that for me, why is it wrong that I want to date a guy that can do the same thing?
There's nothing wrong with it. I told you earlier. I said my ex-wife was like that. That's what she's Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton purses. She had collections, bags of them, and she was telling me that's what she wanted for her birthday or for Christmas. I got it for her. She wanted Chris Louis Vuitton shoes. What size you wear? I ordered and get it. And I got her whatever she wanted. It's just that I didn't want, and she can understand that. She said, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "I don't want anything."
So y'all so stupid.
Who's stupid?
Y'all so
No. That's the name of somebody from the chat. No, really.
Uncle Jerk.
Really, that's the name of somebody from the chat.
That's Uncle Jerk.
Oh. What?
It means you broke.
He's going by the axiom that wealth is quiet,
The blind got me like
rich is flashy, and I'm sorry, rich is flashy, and what's the name is broke. I can't remember the last one, but it's not that it's wrong in that. what it does is it creates an imbalance because a lot of women who is she muted?
Yeah, she's muted again.
Because a lot of women who want men to buy those things for them, even though they can buy them themselves, come in with the mindset that men should buy those things
Make
for
them
them.
obligated.
And
Right.
she's taking her income and she's doing what she wants to with it. That creates the mindset that a man saying, oh, you're only targeting me because I have money, because if I didn't have money, you wouldn't be with me. That's what men resent.
This is my thought process. I just feel a little different about that because my thing is I treat myself. Like for my birthday this year, y'all seen it was me all my birthday. I didn't nobody pay for that. I did that. And then on top of that, whatever people gave me cards and money and stuff, I took that and I gave it away. Like I did live giveaways and was giving away money and cards and stuff like that. But my thing is, I want somebody that gives and have the same mindset about finances and about giving and about being free with life
and give it to each other.
Right. And my thing is, somebody might not like the way I move versus how they move. I'm a person who battled cancer twice. I've had a good job since the age of 27. So for me, I live my life. I don't have to ever worry about coming in here flicking a switch and ain't nothing coming on. I don't never have to worry about going to the refrigerator and not having what I want.
Food,
I don't never have to worry about the temperature in the house. I don't never have to worry about if my daughter gets sick right now, I can get a flight and jump to Florida. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that women that have that type of standards and that type of financial stability for us, why is it always difficult for us to connect with men because they feel like we too independent?
No, because they're connected with the wrong men. That's what it is.
If
you're not
not necessarily
on that same mindset, then you know that's the type of woman they're looking for. A guy who doesn't have that mindset is not going to be in the mindset to do that for you. Like I said, my ex-wife, I had no problem doing that. There was nothing that I wouldn't do for her that she wanted or needed. She wanted to go away for her birthday to Vegas to go Boys and Men. Okay, let's go. And I took her, and like I said, whatever she wanted, I did. And it wasn't because she demanded it. It was because that was how I felt about her. And I said, and that's what I did, you know. And I had no problem. I've never had an issue with anything she ever asked for or said she wanted. I never had did it begrudgingly or anything like that. I did it and thought nothing of it. But she could understand that I never asked her for anything because I didn't need anything and I didn't really want anything. My joy was just making sure that she was happy.
But I wonder if that was like her way of maybe saying, she wanted you to do something. She wanted you to wear different clothes, or wanted you to change your style up, or maybe buy something new that maybe matched her style. You never know, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I don't know. That's your situation. But one thing I'll say is that
she bought me things. She bought me things that she wanted me to have. But when she would say to me, "What do you want or what do you need?" I said, "I don't need anything." And that's what and because I didn't need anything.
But you may not have
something,
needed it, but it's
something
always
she
nice
wanted me to have, she would go get it. Huh?
It's always nice to have something fresh and new. And
right. Like I said, if it was something she wanted me to have, something she wanted me to have, she would go get it. But if she asked me if I wanted, like, what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for Christmas? I don't want anything.
Okay. So let me go. I wanted to address the one thing that y'all so stupid, so Uncle Jerk said about rich people. The thing is, rich people don't try to look poor. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They just put their money in different places.
Mm-hmm.
And where they put their money at is yachts, cars, houses. They just their money is in property. Their money is just you see it in different places opposed to how they dress, but they dress nice too. They wear, different types of designer clothes, but one thing I do notice, like now I'm out here and out I'm in Seneca County now, majority, white population. What you see down here, boats, houses on the lake, you know, um, they going out fancy restaurants, they wear stuff too. They spend their money on clothes, sneakers. They support more local businesses than franchises. They're more like that. That's why they don't look like, they don't you don't see a lot of designer stuff on them because they support their own. They're all about loyalty and supporting their own.
Well, let me ask this. Let me
I
ask
think
this question. Look here,
I think they
as a
give it based
percentage
on
of their income, what do they spend on those things versus somebody who doesn't have it?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for their money. I just know what they do.
And that's what
spend.
Uncle Jerk's
But
speaking
actually,
about. Uncle Jerk's speaking
and
about
I hear what
the
she's saying, but hold on her 1 second. We talked about this earlier when I was talking about LLCs and corporations and
yeah,
C corps. The stuff that you see most wealthy people have, they don't buy them themselves. They
right,
buy them through their corporations and through
correct.
their LLCs and all those kind of things. And so
Mhm.
that way, all those things are if you look to see who the owner is owned by their companies, and
Yeah.
all those things are written off. Very
Mhm.
rarely does a wealthy person buy anything in their own name or go out
Yeah.
and buy, even if they buy like fancy, they very rarely buy name brand like Louis Vuittons and
Like
Chris,
I said, they
all that
buy
kind of stuff.
locally. They buy
They
local.
they buy a local designer or something like that. But even with that, they'll buy that through their corporation or through
They
their
travel.
business and write-offs and all those things. It's very rare that they do anything where it's coming directly out of their personal income. And that's what we were talking about earlier when I was saying that like everybody who has some source of second income should have an LLC or a C corp or something like that where they bring everything through that business, and that's how you make your money. That's how you make your money work for you, because everything is then deducted through that corporation, and then whatever is left over you deduct on your taxes or however, and it just offsets everything. These are the kind of things like I said, I teach people these things because we don't know. We weren't taught those things, so we don't know to do those things to make opportunities for ourselves. And you can have a yacht, but those yachts are owned by their corporations.
Right.
Those planes are owned by their corporations. Those big old jets and all that stuff, that's in the business name. It's not in their name.
So one of the things, like I say, for us, it should try to be a bigger push to have these conversations in person instead of talking about turning up or whatever the case is. Start having these conversations during like happy hour settings or something like that, that you can impact people. I'm just trying to think of other ways to try to get the point across. And a lot of times we speak about, of course, the curriculum and the children, but that's only as good as they learn that information in school. Then once they get home, that shit
Right, and that's why
that's
I
done.
was
It's
talking about
done.
earlier
It's done.
with the nonprofit, because you have to teach it to the adults. It makes no sense to teach it to kids and coming home to a household that's struggling to pay the bills and struggling to put food on the table. But if you're teaching that family, the parents and the kids how to do these things together, now you've created that generational wealth that people are always talking about, because now the family is starting a family business. The kids are doing stocks together. They're buying real estate or starting a property management company or a property maintenance company together. They can start to do all these things together. And that's how you create the opportunities for families to grow outside of just having that job.
So I think that's the biggest issue that we suffer from, with the lack of family unity and stuff like that. That's our biggest issue. But we're gonna move on from this subject because we only covered 2 topics, and I'll be damned if we have 2 carryover talking points. So the next one is it's still early for us. 10:49.
Okay.
Number 3. Are breaks necessary in a relationship? And I know most people, when I posted that, they was like, breaks, then we might as well just not be together. Breaks,
Now,
like, what does that look
though?
like?
Yeah, what do you mean by break, though?
It may be some things you got to reevaluate in a relationship. Like, it could be something like, listen, like my job, like a lot of stuff going on at your job that you like, listen, I can't dedicate this time to the relationship. Anetta, echo chamber. So you may say, but the thing is, it has to be strategic. It has to be like for a certain amount of time. It's not fair to somebody to say, oh, we need to take a break, but you don't have no time limit or whatever the case is, and you can't be the type like, oh, we're going to take a break, then you're calling every day or whatever the case is. You really probably have to take a break. Yeah, you really have to take a break. So that's one of the things that I was interested in. Like, are they necessary? Because some people may realize, this shit toxic. Maybe if we tone it down, we go our separate ways and see what's this that we could come back together and realize we better together. Like I always say, the miracle question: is this person better? Are you better with this person in your world or without them? And that's something you have to ask yourself.
Lynette had a good response here. Lynette Patterson. Most people that want to break, they just where'd it go? Most people that want to break, they just want to step off and start seeing someone else. And that's normally, a lot of times, that's what happens is that, they've met somebody or got an interest in somebody, or somebody's piqued their interest, and they want to take that break to kind of see where that situation is going without having to let totally go of that other person, because that other person may have a lot of things that they like, but they don't see that long-term commitment with that person. So they are, like I said earlier, about that person having that one foot out the door because they're always waiting for that next big opportunity to come along. So
and that's part of it, because you could be at a point sexually vulnerable. Like, damn, I'm really feeling this person. We get some vibes, whatever. Maybe I need
to check this out. We need to take a break, and I'm gonna go check them out. Exactly. Yeah. Well, with them situations, I don't think I've ever taken a break from anybody.
So
if I left, I left.
Making excuses to cheat.
We're not making no excuses. We're just saying.
We're just weighing our
why people might take a break.
That's called making excuses to cheat and giving an out so you can do whatever you do. So this is my thing. If you need to take a break from me, you need a permanent break.
That's true. That's what I said.
Assalamu alaikum. See you later. May God bless you.
That's what I
said. May the overflow in your life be forever given. Because if you telling me you want a break, you need a forever break. The reason why I say this is because I believe, and y'all know I always say this, I believe in identity in a relationship. That's why I do not believe couples should see each other every single day when you're dating. You need that time so you can be you and they can be them. They can spend it with their boys. You can spend it with your girls. And then if y'all plan to get married and y'all be together, y'all still need to have that hangout time with the boys and hangout time with the girls. You need to keep your identity. Most time when people want to break is because they've lost their identity in the relationship. And at this point, you need to walk away, regain your identity. That's why sometimes it's hard for me to date certain guys because I'm not a needy female. I don't need a lot of attention. First of all, my social life is very demanding.
So that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. In a relationship, how do you feel about a person that wants to talk to you every day?
Well,
how do you feel about situations like that?
They know from the beginning they're not going to get that from me every day.
Okay.
Because I'm honest from the beginning that, I'm honest and I tell them I'm not a needy person. I'm very busy. You're very busy. If you're not, you need to find something else to do. But I'm not a person that needs that much attention. I don't need that much attention. But when I got your attention, I need your attention. And you got my attention, I'm giving you my attention. But I'm not, it's a guy now who been, trying to court me or whatever. I have to let him know every time we talk, I don't need that much attention. Come on.
Right. And they won't be on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours.
I do not believe in prolonged torture. Don't say that. I just believe that everyone should have their own identity. And I feel like you should be secure in who you are. And when we connect, it's explosive then. We're connected. I don't care if we're just sitting and we're watching Netflix. If we're just sitting having a glass of wine together. That is totally intimate to me. And that's our prime time for each other. But I do like my time where I can just say, hey, I'm with my girls. We're here. You know what I'm saying? And he like, oh, hey, do you want? And if I say to you, hey, babe, I'm with my girls and they got their friends here or their husband here. Would you like to come on and stop by? You like, no, I'm with my boys. Okay, I'm confident in who I am. I'll sit there and be the 3rd, 6th, or 7th, 8th wheel. It's no big deal. But I think that sometimes people are not confident and comfortable within their own self. And so if you ask me for a break, we breaking permanently. No.
Yeah, I think about a break. I'm not thinking like a break for a long period of time. I think like just a weekend getaway, 4 or 5 day, maybe 7 at the most, get away with some friends or family to take a break. But especially if you're married, I don't think you should take no longer than that, unless it's work related, and or you're in the Air Force or military or something, and you have to leave. But I remember seeing a post where I don't know. I wanted to share it to the counselor's corner. I think it was a reel, and it was about the strength. We're each other's accountability. We're each other's accountability. We're each other's partner. So when those moments come, where temptation wants to come in, that's where you're supposed to lean on that other person, your partner, to fight those temptations. If you need, and that's where communication come in, because if you have a need that's lacking, like, you need to discuss it. You need to be each other's friend and discuss these things. Not because you want to step out. Like, listen, I'm having some fantasies. This chick, she over here looking good. She wore it. Her hair was red, and I loved it. And I'm gonna come home with a red outfit and a little something here. Like, here we go. Let's role play something, just because there are temptations, and vice versa. And have spice in your relationship. But it's all about communication. It's all about trusting each other. To trust each other, to be able to be vulnerable and be yourself. Do I feel like something else that you said about shucks, I lost my train of thought, but I think it's about needy. I'm not needy, but I'm needy. You feel me? I'm like, so let me say it in this way. I'm not. I work. I do what I need to do, but when I settle down and I want that time, I need that time. You know what I mean?
Sound like something Patrice O'Neal would say.
Yeah, so for me, I respect if they got something to do. I have something to do, but let's make sure we make that time to connect and to feel each other, to be what we need to be for each other, whatever that may be. But I do have a level of neediness. I'm not gonna say I like to cuddle. I like to be touched. I like all the good stuff. And on the foreplays and everything. And if that's not there, I question it. I question the intent.
The 100 questions, man. You're never going to escape from it. That's all I'm going to say.
So, I mean, again, like, I can say this as a man, it probably would be hurtful for a woman. See, a lot of times we think about this from a man's perspective when we pose this question. But how would we feel if a woman said, we need a break? And they follow through them guidelines. Don't call me. Don't text me. We're taking a break. Why are you checking on me? Because sometimes you could be in that role and it's hurtful. And we can act like we this and that, we big and bad. But that some of that shit may have you balled up in the fetal position. When they're like, when they're like, damn, man, like, what she doing? What's going on? Is she interested in somebody else? What am I doing wrong? Or whatever the case is. So
And then
it's stuff you have to think about.
Toxic and narcissist
I'm gonna
relationships.
help you out.
A narcissistic personality, or you have a toxic person. That's normally what you run into. Those kind of situations.
Right. And I'm gonna help you out with that. If I said to you that we taking a break, I guarantee
You might as well keep moving.
you might as well just say goodbye to me. This
Yep.
is the final walk of the funeral.
Yep.
I'm telling you now. If
Put
I
the
said
fork
we
in it.
taking
It's
a break,
over with. It's over.
I'm 100% sure we done. Okay.
Mhm.
No matter how much I beg and plead.
I mean,
I would even say,
because I'm a person, once I'm done, I'm done. Like I've exhausted every avenue I could possibly exhaust. So when I get to that point, that means my peace is being interrupted. That means I can't sleep good. I'm constantly thinking about how our relationship is, how I'm maneuvering, and it started affecting other things, especially start affecting my money. Nah, bruh. Yeah.
I just read an article. I just read an article from what you just said, Anetta, and it was saying how when a woman is done, when they say in there, by the time they say verbally that they're done, there's no turning back. There's no like making up or working things out, because that means prior to that they were already trying to work things out and it wasn't working. And when they finally say I'm done, or they verbally say that, it's already over.
And Nikita would tell you, we women, so we exit out mentally first.
And that's
Then
what the article said.
Emotionally, and then physically. Okay, there's 3 exit plans to us. So once you get one exit plan, you sure the other 2 are coming behind.
They coming, yeah. Okay. And that's what that article said that I was reading.
Yeah, so that's how I am, because one thing is we're nurturers, so we're always trying to fix it. We go, let me try to fix this relationship. Let me try to fix it. So when
then they stop fixing it. That's it.
I don't care how good you is. You could be the demon D of the West.
that makes it worse. You definitely ain't going nowhere. You the demon D of the West. How many days?
Put you in a nice category, bro.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there by the second day. I'll be there. Make sure you. I'll see you. I'll get a flight there.
We have an agreement. Our agreement is
3 days later. 2 to 3 days.
Hello. I see you. Look here. I see you in 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 weeks.
Hardball 6 weeks. Damn.
She said she got the stack of paper first. The paper comes first, all that other stuff comes second.
I gotta have it within 2-3 days. I gotta have it tight. It don't go down like that.
That's why I've always made the joke when people would ask about marriage. I say, yeah, I have a wife, a mistress, and a girlfriend. My wife's name is Time. My mistress's name is Money. When the girlfriend wants part of either one, she comes by.
Herb, you killing the game,
man. That's why he's sitting over there with them cats trying to figure
right.
All I will reply to that is I am not disturbed with peace of mind. I get to watch football whenever I want to.
And you still be able to watch football whenever you want to with a woman. Cut it.
Right.
Like,
your control.
Try to stand in front of the TV all the time. No, just stop acting like that's the only thing you can do in your life when football comes on.
I never said that. That's the assumption that y'all two are making.
And some people have said that.
Say it again.
we know one thing. You ain't letting nobody interrupt nothing you trying to do or going to do or whatever.
Nothing.
You damn right.
You are.
I'm sorry, Herb. I'm sorry, Herb. Watching the football game, sometimes you want to see something dart through past the TV. You be like, God damn.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
Herb.
it ain't that serious.
Not
It
Herb.
is. For me, it is.
It ain't
No,
that
no,
serious.
Do
though.
that on purpose, Lakia, right?
Oh, so you rather watch a man's tail than watch a
Yeah,
woman's
it
tail?
ain't that serious. It used to be that serious, but now you get older, it ain't that damn serious.
Listen.
All I'm saying is this. I don't hang out at bars. I don't go to strip clubs. I don't smoke weed. I don't engage in any type of drug use or abuse. I go to work. I do my little civic duty. So when I come home and don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered.
See, you know how my issue about football, because that shit be on all day long. Now, when I say boxing, that's different.
Oh,
A woman can come on to you at that point, and you miss a damn punch, the fight is over with.
You can
So
go
that's
back
different.
and rewatch that. You can replay that.
No, that's different. That's
Exactly.
different.
See all the
Replay.
stipulations. You know what
Rewind, record.
I was trying to hook y'all up, but damn.
they didn't see that, David. That's why I don't. That's why I'm like Israel. I don't negotiate with terrorists.
I'm saying? Okay, so hold on. Let me explain something to y'all about women. We are created. The creation of us is persuasion. We can get what we want to get. Okay. It's
You can
just
try.
It's just being connected to the one who want what we got. Okay.
You can try.
Man, you ain't even about to sit here and act like the big bad wolf on here, because I know sometimes you don't bark.
You can try.
Okay.
Like my dearly departed mother would say, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Okay, Herb.
I see you from Carson City, so you got a higher head, so we got to show you.
I'm
gotta show me
I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna have to say, ain't nobody knocking at that door. Ain't
Say it
nobody.
again. Nobody ever knocks at my door.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
invite them to come over.
Ain't nobody knocking.
So you're absolutely correct. It's invite only. It ain't show up when you want to.
Lakia.
This is a dictatorship. This ain't a democracy. I'm 50. Pussy don't run me. I run it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, crazy.
You think you gonna wag that thing in front of me? I'm gonna jump? Come on now. You got to know better than that.
Well, you probably don't jump now. You a little older.
I've never jumped. The hell y'all think y'all talking to?
Oh God.
Hey, I got some stories that'll make your head spin.
I love this cool man. I love this.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, funny.
Dave, what's your next point? We should be done.
Right. We don't need to keep dragging it on, Greg.
Well, the final one is religion. What role does it play in your life?
Where did
In
this
my
come
life
from?
or in my dating life?
Well,
It's important. I'll say this. Religion is important. It's not important to me. Religion is not important to me. I'll say that again so everyone can hear it. Religion is not important to me. Belief is important to me. Belief, relationship, and salvation is important to me. For me to date you, I need to know that you do know there is a God and that you know his son is Jesus. Okay?
Yeah.
I need to know that you have an active prayer life. So people get on here and say, oh, y'all women always saying that. Listen, this is my path in life. This is my journey in life. This is where I'm at. I'm not going to date anyone who does not have a belief in Jesus Christ. I'm just not. Because what happens is that's like oil and water. We're never going to mix. Okay? So me personally would not date anyone who does not believe in God, who does not have an active belief and relationship life. I'm not religious because I can be religiously not brushing my teeth. I could be religiously not taking a bath. But I cannot, me personally, I cannot not have a relationship with him.
No, I piggyback on that same. It's about relationship and believing in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
We say a heathen.
He crazy.
He the only
He crazy.
heathen in this chat.
He really be solidifying his name tag on there, boy.
So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for me because that's how I strive to live my life according to the words moral compass. Am I perfect? No. I don't strive to be perfect, but I strive to be good and be mindful of others. As like you say the saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I believe wholeheartedly in when you give, whatever you put out is what comes back to you. So I just try to be good to everybody. And I play around, I mess around, I say things, but it's not out of no malicious intent. It's just out of having fun and joking and stuff like that. But I just have love for folks, period, because that's what we're supposed to. But life is but that's how I govern my life. With the moral compass of the Word of God, and specifically, yes, the King James version. Yes, the one y'all claim was written by a white man. Yes, it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So,
so what if you have a guy like he doesn't manifest? He doesn't even talk all that, but he's grounded, he's respectable, and all that stuff, but he doesn't really speak on that stuff. What's y'all take on that? Like you never see him pray and all, or any of that, but
I don't have a problem with that. I have a friend I've been talking to for 3 years, and he believes in God, but he's not as fanatic and dedicated as I am. But does that mean that he won't make it into heaven? I can't say that. Does that mean that he doesn't have a profound relationship with him? I can't say it because his relationship is his relationship.
It's different from yours.
My relationship is my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So my concern would be if he just downright talked against the Bible and against God. That would be my concern, and I probably wouldn't have any communication with him. But the way I am is not going to be the way another person may be about God. And like I study every day. You know what I'm saying? I do prayer 6 a.m. and 7:30 every morning with the group. So he may not be like that. He may just pray when he needs something, or he may just pray when he's going through something. But that doesn't mean that there's a lack. That just means that our level of understanding and our level of movement and our belief is different.
It's different.
We move differently.
So if you invited him to church and all, and he always shot like, "No, I ain't messing around with. I don't do all that organized chaos, whatever the case is." He never went. How would you still accept that?
No.
Say it again. Would you
You're on
answer?
2 different pages. You're on 2 different
We're
pages.
on 2 different pages. So I go to church. I was the worship leader at my church for 3 years, 3.5 years, and every guy that I was kind of in a relationship, they came to see me do worship and praise. They came to my church, and I would go to their church. I think that is a part of dating me. That's a part of knowing the essence of Annetta, okay? That's a part of knowing what I love, the passion. And I think that if you can't join in the passion and understand where I'm at in that aspect, it would be hard for us to date because we're on 2 different, you know what I'm saying, 2 different wavelengths. So it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be fruitful for me. It wouldn't be fruitful for him either, because what happens is he will just get what I want to show him versus getting the genuine me. So it wouldn't be a fruitful relationship. So I definitely would have to date someone who's spiritually connected.
Okay.
I got a question. What are your thoughts on a person who says, "Well, I'm not. I don't want to. I want to be married and in a committed relationship and married before I'm intimate." And so, for example, they may have had
Mm.
kids in the past, and now they've been single 10 years or 15 years, and they're waiting on God to send them that mate.
I don't really have a problem with people recommitment of their body, their rededication to their
Hmm.
belief in that aspect. It's a lot of people. I was there. It's
Right.
a lot of people that go there and be like, you know what, I don't. A lot of it is spiritual, but a lot of it also is self-awareness. Okay.
Okay.
It's like, you know what, when I'm giving myself to somebody, I'm losing sight of my purpose. I'm losing sight of my destiny and my journey where I'm supposed to be. So let me try to hold that in and abstain from that so I can connect with somebody on the right level.
But
Okay.
10 years, 10 or 15 years,
It's a
that's
time
a
frame.
long time.
But you know what? You go so long without having that you get comfortable and there's a sense of peace there and you learn how to suppress that emotion of that physical intensity of needing it. And that
But
may sound crazy, but you do get to that. When I went for like 3.5 years.
right,
By the second year, it wasn't even a thought. You
right, it
know what
wasn't
I'm
a big
saying?
deal, right? But when
And
you
it only
think
became
about
a
you
thought
meet
when
that
somebody
person,
said something.
right?
You know
But
what I'm
when you
saying?
meet that person, you meet that guy who's interested and really like interested, but then you're saying, well, you know, I'm not doing anything till I get married, and we need to, go 2-3 years of dating and getting to know each other, and then once we get married, we'll be intimate. That just, what I mean, especially for most men, I don't, and like I said, I can't say for every man, depending on if they're in the church and they're making that same commitment, but it's very rare that a man is going to want to wait until they get married especially if you're talking about dating 2-3 years first to see where y'all are as a unit.
That's dead.
That's a long time, and especially
Most
like I
people
said,
you don't really walk into a relationship without having some communication and conversation about that.
right.
When I was dating during that time, the two guys I remember fondly. The one guy was a really nice guy, great guy. I think you may know him. He was a really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
You
You said
you put it out there.
know him, yeah. So
Threw that out there. Set it on the
now
team.
you got to be going somewhere with it.
I'm saying the world know him. The world know. Okay. And so y'all know our name drop. Y'all already know that.
I know.
But
I just was saying.
Hey, we may well just want to help you out with the background check.
Look, my thing was I knew where I was at in that aspect. I'm not having sex. This is where I'm at. I really don't, I've been through a bad breakup, this and this and that. I come from this. This is where I'm at spiritually. And that person was honest with me. He went about 6 months and he was like, you know what? This ain't gonna work.
Right, exactly.
And I had to respect where he was, and he respected where I was. It was like, let me have a conversation with you. I can't have you come over flying here to see me, and we ain't doing
with
that.
expectations,
Okay.
right.
So I knew then, okay, I can't put myself in this position, and I'm not fulfilling the position. Okay. So now you have to learn how to put some barriers up. Okay. He's not getting the cookies, so ain't no need of me sitting next to the milk glass.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So you have to put you got to be conscious, and you have to put some physical, spiritual,
stay committed, right.
To say, listen, I'm not
right.
going to tempt him when I know I'm not in that place
right.
to do.
You're not going there.
So I got to be honest. And when I say be honest, you got to be honest with yourself all the way across the board. Am I perfect? No. Do I have moments where I'm like, oh, no, that's when you start, and I ain't promoting it. That's when you start buying all these rolls and these toys and all that stuff. And then what happens in that aspect, you get so comfortable with the toys when you finally
That's right.
get the real thing.
That's right.
You like,
That's right.
It don't vibrate like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you got to be careful so that you can try to even abstain from that, because you'll get addicted to that.
You get overstimulated on that, and then the man doesn't replace it.
Stimulated on that, and then you're unstimulated by a human being.
Exactly.
So you got to really be conscious when you make that conscious effort to say, I'm abstaining. I'm gonna stay in this place because it's spiritual for me. I need to detox my body from
everything.
Relationships. I need to detox my body from bad decisions. I need to detox. You can do that, but you have to be conscious about how you're moving in that aspect. Okay. Because I know even when I did that for 3 years, I had to change the way I was dressing. I'm a curvy woman. So I had to change the way I was dressing because it's quite natural for a man to look, because I got big old butt and a little old waist. So they like, whoa. And then the next thing you know, you catch somebody looking back at them, there is some type of attraction. Now I'm in some type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to really be conscious about when you make that decision to do that you're doing that for the right reason, for one, and that you're prepared for the outcome of the decision.
I'm with you.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. And that's why I said I kind of put it out there, because knowing, like you said, knowing where you've been and where you are now, and it made me think of this person. Like I said, she has like about 2 or 3 kids, but the last 10 years or so, she's been, waiting, as she says, waiting for the Lord to send the right person to her. And she's dated guys that she's really been interested in, but refused to have sex with them because, again, she's saying, I'm not doing it until I get married. But then even those guys, like you said, they wait 6 months or a year, and they realize, they enjoy the company, they enjoy so much about her, but that wait and talking about until we get married, that just was something that didn't work for them. And it
can be very intimidating for a man. You telling a man, I ain't really having sex until I get married. I get what you're saying. It's admirable. It's honorable. It's all great. But at the end of the day, if he's not thinking like that, that's
right.
So either you can get 2 things from him. He's going to be aggressively seeking to fulfill that, okay? Or he's going to walk away and say, yo, I'm too old to be sitting here trying to battle and wait for this. You know what I'm saying? I can move on and get the $40.
And see, she dressed like you were talking about how you dress and how you watch how you dress. She dressed, and she's a very nice looking girl. She dresses, I mean, she could put on a pair of jeans and you'd be like, damn. But so for her, she's just dressing and being the way she is. But because she is such a very nice looking woman, that man being around her, he's automatically tempted by her. You know what I mean?
So be careful, because as women, we send off a perfume that we ain't even prepared for people to smell.
Right.
Okay. Right. So you got to be careful that you're not putting out that, because she might have a perfume on of the desperation of marriage. And men are like, yo, you ain't giving it up because you got that marriage perfume on. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful that you don't have that desperation of marriage on you. Because if you have that on you, most men are going to be like, why she so prompt? Why she ain't married? And why is she pressing so hard to get married?
To get married, exactly.
That will come up. So you got to be careful. That's why I always talk to women and tell them, be confident within yourself. Be okay in your singleness. So when he comes, he's coming with a woman that's confident in who she is as an individual, versus somebody like, okay, I'm having my kids, they grown. Yeah, I did that. So now I need to walk out. No, that's why you got to date organically and with the most generic thoughts as possible. Right. Because if you're dating to have the white picket fence and already picked out your wedding gown, baby, a couple of them gonna run, because a couple of them they're gonna run with Nikes on, not Converse, because they ain't trying to be slow. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's not how they moving.
But that was one of my big questions, like you said earlier. You're looking at the person, you're saying, okay, one thing, why aren't you married? And you know what I mean? Because you're looking at them, you're saying you have that appearance like you got it all together, but why aren't you married? Why can't you get in a relationship where somebody wants to marry? You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. And so I look at this person that really kind of like make me wonder some of those same questions that you just said, because like I said, all outside appearances, you would think that you get this is like a great visual package, but there's got to be something that none of that is worked out, you know.
Well, I kind of, I don't agree with that too much, to be honest with you, because if you're the same age as me and you ain't married, it goes both ways, or even older. So that's out the picture for me on that question. And then when I think about, so I speak from my own situation, I struggle with not being sexually active because that's the type of person that I am. I like to connect. Period. I'm just gonna be keep this. I like to connect with someone that I love, to someone that I'm into, that's into me. But I desire it to be that's someone that's into me, that's someone that's investing in being with me, and we're together and we're on the same page and where this is going. What's the point of you vetting me or into me if your thought is not thinking marriage, is your thought is just to date me? No, if we're not, I like to know if we're on the same page. If we're on the same page of, are we going towards marriage in this reason why we're dating? Those are questions that needs to be discussed. If not, then me wanting to wait or us wanting to wait shouldn't. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me too, because I want it just as much, but I do want to be honorable as a woman in the eyesight of God, but also to that man. I feel like a man would want to respect a woman, to let her know, I respect you. I know, and respect the reasons why, because we don't want to be out here just sleeping with everybody that come and think that, that come along and y'all get along and now y'all supposed to have sex.
Okay.
No, we should want to, both of us should want to come together for purpose, not just to come together.
So,
And that's where I say, now, no, I don't want to just. I have my moments there. I may like, oh man, like yeah, you got to itch, you want to scratch. Because we're a human being. I'm a human being. I'm a woman, and I have kids, so I know how it feels to feel good. Your body feels that. It misses it. So just to be just real about it, for me, I want to be able to connect with somebody that I'm going to be futuristic with, that I can be myself with, he can be himself with, and it's me and him striving to do this together, not worrying about, okay, now we're just dating and now you're going to go see how you get along with Stacy over there, opposed to just works figuring out if me and you gonna be kicking it.
you see.
You know what I mean? Just let me throw a name out there. I don't know no Stacy. So I don't know nobody that knows Stacy. I'm just throwing it out there. You get what I'm saying? So I just think that I would hope when a man hears a woman say that, say, okay, she's trying to be honorable. She wants to be a respected woman. Why wouldn't you want to honor a woman for that? Yes, it's hard for her and for you, absolutely. But can we come to some type of common ground to say, where are we going with this? Are you vetting me? Am I vetting you? If so, let's see where this can go before we intertwine sexually, because emotions as women, for me, I speak for myself, gets entwined when I'm sexually active with a man. My emotions are involved. And I don't want to be just having emotions evolved around any and everybody. I'd rather wait, because I know it's going to be with someone I prefer to wait, and I pray I will wait Lord give me strength in Jesus' name to continue to give strength so that I won't give in.
So when you package that up and you have two individuals and you may be saying, okay, you're looking for marriage and all that, and they may not be at that point yet, but y'all both physically attracted to each other. How does that work? Like
then it won't work. It don't work. That's the thing. It's not going to work. Because I don't understand how a person could be like, well, I'm not ready for that right now. Then you keep going. Then leave me alone. Go keep doing what you're doing. Respect the direction I'm trying to go in. I want to get married. I want to have, this is my mind. This is where I'm going. If we're not on the same page, then there's no need for us to interact that way.
So you're telling me that you're both gonna be on the same page at the same time, like it's some old magical wave the wand type shit that it may not be that case.
You may not be,
and I know what I want in life.
But you gotta be able to respect what the person, like she said, you gotta respect what a person at. For example, if you with somebody, y'all been talking for 5-6 years and y'all still talking and there's no movement in the relationship, and he's indicated that he's not ready for a relationship, he don't want to be obligated to anybody's feelings, and he don't told you. He's told you. So it's your responsibility now, if you want to stick with that, hang in there, or if you think you're gonna change that man's mind, I would say, newsflash, my sister, run, because you're not gonna change his mind. And you need to go ahead and date and do whatever you're gonna do and connect with somebody who's gonna love you on the level that you need to be loved on.
Right.
Okay. I had a guy, love him, in love with him, and in love with him, but he's not ready for a relationship. So what do? Do I sit here and twiddle my thumbs and wait till he's ready? No, I gotta live my life. You know what I'm saying?
And
I can't sit here and play Russian roulette. Ooh, if I roll this, he gonna want it. Ooh, if I do this, he gonna he doesn't want it. So you can't. And I always say you can't have something that don't want to have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want, like.
Don't want to be kept.
Hello. So I agree with Lakia 100%. You just got to know who you are as an individual, what you want, what you're going to tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate, who you want to be connected to, why you want to be connected to them. Relationships is about enhancement. It's not about somebody's taking something from you that it breaks you down to a lower level. It's about building together so you can build together, okay, on top of what you already have, okay? I've never seen, I told somebody this the other day, I haven't seen a Rolls Royce commercial since all my life because they know their product. They don't have to do a commercial when they know their product, okay? And that's how you have to be about yourself. I know my product. I know who I am as an individual. I don't have to put a commercial out there for you. I don't have to run no previews for you. This is a net. What you see is what you get. You either gonna like it or don't like it. But I tell you this, it's like Perry's ice cream. It's 99 flavors. Somebody's guaranteed to like this flavor.
Right. They're gonna see their flavor and say, I want that flavor.
Maybe I need to stop
and I want to connect with that flavor all the time.
I need to stop because the men on here already don't like me.
If
where you get that nonsense from?
Stop dealing with women that is.
You just get mad props up. You just get mad props from Uncle Jerk with all that chocolate.
Uncle who?
Uncle Jerk.
Y'all so stupid.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
That's y'all.
She wasn't reading the comments, so she didn't see it.
Chocolate.
Go back and watch the rebroadcast and just look at the chat.
Any man that say chocolate on the internet, no, I don't need to talk to him.
Oh, okay then.
Well, that's with his visual. That's what he saw.
But why you still got to do with him saying that she's a heathen? You can remove that. There's other good stuff that popped up in the chat.
Right, he'll say I'm a heathen because my views and opinion. Thank you, Lakia, for looking out for me.
I'm like, That's still there.
Well,
But no, for real, man, I think that we need to reevaluate how we're dating, how we're looking at dating, and what we're expecting out of the dating, and not be unrealistic and put people in categories. You know, y'all laugh at me when I talk about the friend zone. Some people are very
I don't
good
do friend
friends
zones.
in that
I'm just
zone
saying.
because they're not prepared, whatever,
I
Dave.
don't give a
They're
damn what
not
y'all do. I
prepared
don't
to
give
move. They're not prepared to move.
a So you ain't gonna talk me to death about this shit.
they not prepared to move to the next level, and you got to understand that some people aren't ready to move to that next level that you desire, and you can't rush the process. You know what I'm saying? I just said to somebody, let me tell y'all, yesterday was so emotional for me when I got ordained, and sure as I left and we went to go eat dinner, I see a preacher, and guess what the first thing he said to me? It's time for you to get you a husband now. I was like, what?
See, all that extra
And see,
is
immediately, because
annoying.
I am who I am, and I'm confident in my relationship with God and my relationship with myself, I immediately said, so my elevation puts me in a brighter spot to get a husband? I said, nah, bro, that's not what's going to happen. That's why a lot of women sit in church and be in abusive relationships or with men that they don't need to be with because they are forced to do something that they don't want to do. Yeah, I'm a little too old to be forced to put into a position to do something I don't want to do. If God has a husband for me, he'll come. But he has to prepare my mind and my heart for a husband.
And that's the thing, because you shouldn't want to always just connect with people just to connect sexually, just to scratch the itch. It's just scratch the itch. That's what they're I'm tired. But
no, because they believe that. Look here, they believe that scripture. Well, it's better to burn. It's better to marry than burn. First of all, who said I'm burning?
Why is it in there then?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Who says I'm burning? Everybody that's single is not popping around here, and I said that to him. Everybody that's single is not popping around here having sex.
Right.
Okay, so don't make that disclosure, because if that's the case, all y'all that's married that's cheating on your wives.
Okay.
You know? So my thing is, don't make statements that you have not walked down that street. So don't make statements like that. And don't, unless so many forced relationships that they are resentful, they're bitter, they're angry, they're just staying in something because it's comfortable and it's familiar. No more comfortable and familiar. Live your life.
Live your life.
Hey. I hear that. There's a lot of good information. A lot of views put out there. I think we're gonna get ready to close it out. Anybody got it? Closing comments.
I am on question number 30 of the 100. I'm gonna keep beating the drum for it, and when I'm done, I will take the show and reveal it. And like we did at Je ne sais quoi, we can chop it up. And of course, yes.
The funeral home that's close to Niagara Falls. The cemetery that's close to Niagara Falls.
I can't remember the name of it. Yes, it's right on Portage.
Oakwood.
You might have a better chance sitting out there asking some of the women to
But what y'all have to realize about Herbert is
David, you know what I'm gonna say? Why do you think you know me, David?
I'm cool with what I do. There's other people who aren't, because they're thinking, how can he be so audacious as to ask some of these questions? But we all talk about communication.
You know what? I'm not even mad at you for asking the question. My question would be, who is these doggone women that answer the question? That would be my thing. Who are they? What planet are they on?
But what makes you think that the questions are being answered?
Somebody got to answer them.
Opportunity to
No, some people flat out refuse to answer the questions, and as they tell you, a non-answer is an answer.
And they get
I'm not
eliminated.
looking to include everybody in my future that I come across. I'm looking to eliminate dead weight. And because people can't put you in a category,
So me
it
and
incenses
Lakia,
them.
me and Lakia gonna help you with something. You ain't
Y'all
even
can't help me with anything. Y'all can't help me with anything.
We already helped you a lot of ways.
Y'all can't help me with anything. I'm already disqualified for y'all too. So how can y'all help me?
You just
Oh, we
qualified me. I didn't
know
even
this,
know I was.
man.
I didn't even know I was on no chopping board. I didn't even welcome the chopping board. How is it
Disqualified.
I said y'all disqualified
Wait a
me.
minute. Oh, then your
Right.
question.
I'm not a religious person, so why would I take advice from somebody who's into the church when I'm not into the church? We're diametrically opposed.
True that.
This is my thing. How are you saying we're
But I'm not dating according to your thing.
Listen, I'm not knocking your little movement. Okay.
But you're trying to
She
criticize it by not
said,
criticizing it. So
she said little movement. Little.
it's not even a movement though. That's the thing. I'm a one-man gang. I'm an OMG.
That little movement that you got going on.
I'm an OMG. I walk solo.
Why y'all take literally what I say and just go?
Because anytime somebody say little,
they're trying to minimize. Yeah,
Exactly.
we know, David. We know. Come on now.
Herb know I love him. Herb love me.
I don't take it personal. I was thrilled to meet y'all. I listen. Meeting at Genesis Car was the best thing. I have a newfound respect for y'all, but I'm still standing 11 toes down.
Listen,
but you know, I do want to ask. I want to know what those questions are. I think you're on to something.
You know
of
what?
Course.
The Kia. I'll call you. Don't you dare ask these over here.
All the questions.
As I said before.
One of them is, have you ever had an abortion?
Yeah, no, well, I can't ask a man that. So what's the question for him on that one?
Right.
And see, and this is why listening is a critical component to what I say. I said, cater the questions to what you want to know from the individual you are talking to. I've also said that all of these questions are going to be for our demographic. I said these questions are going to be geared for people who are looking to date. So from the ages of 20 something up to 50 whatever, you can curtail these questions for what you want to know and the information that you want to garner from the person you're talking to.
Lakia, I'll send you the link. You just pay $80 and get your answer.
Because remember her, when you said 20 something, they was like, oh, you want to date somebody younger like that? 20
yeah, no, because that's how the perceptions of men are.
But you know what? Women date younger men too.
Right.
But see, we didn't make the distinction about women wanting to date younger men. That was only cast upon the men.
Yeah, too
much. Because it happens a lot too.
It does.
You know, as you get older, you start feeling yourself and feel like you want
y'all be
somebody
going
that
through
makes you feel young and you know.
I don't bang on women who want to date younger men. I tell them go get them. If you got the bait, to catch him, go catch him.
You know that young women only with y'all for 2 reasons, right?
What's the 2 reasons?
Hold on, Willie. You mean the same reason an older woman would be? For money, security, and red bottoms and Louis Vuitton? That don't change no matter what age a woman gets.
No, but that's not true because me and Lakita, we ain't sitting waiting for no man to buy us no Louis Vuitton.
I do want to go buy some. Yeah, I
went
to
the. Now if he
so you gonna date a broke man?
And he asked me what I want for my birthday. I'm like,
you gonna date a broke man?
I'm not gonna say he got to have a job. You got to have a job, Tommy.
I'm asking, are you going to date a broke man?
He got to at least have a job.
Do my Wi-Fi work here at my house?
That's not an answer to the question.
Nah, I ain't no broke man.
So what are we talking about then? You talking about a woman is only with a young older man for one or two reasons. The same reason you trying to date a man.
But
Come on now, don't do that. Don't play in that mud puddle unless you want to get covered.
I don't.
Listen, you can cover all of one, and I got my water bill.
How the hell y'all turn this into a closing comment to another segment? To another segment.
Because y'all know y'all go well that young girls be dating y'all for y'all money.
His closing comment is his closing comment.
Hey, daddy.
I'm broke, I tell you now. So I know a woman ain't dating me for money. I'm a broke Negro. I'm homeless. I live in a corner and I eat the rinds of a watermelon on the trash can. That's my life, and that's what I'm rolling with.
You got 100 questions. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Moving along. Her closing comment is done. Who's next?
Well, I think it was a good show tonight. Good conversation as usual. A lot of good topics. I really think we need to do something on financial literacy, because there's a lot of people out there who have interest in that want to get something going. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll maybe do something with a stock program or boot camp. Another good week. So again, I'll just close out. I won't even close out with my headshot statement tonight. I won't even close out with that one. But everybody have a great week and see you next week.
All right, thank you. Same to you. Who's next?
It's been fun. It's been grand. And I'm single, so if any man out here with some money.
Any sugar daddies?
Any daddies out here?
Need some daddies.
That believe in God.
Right.
That's willing to travel.
At least you say a prayer for me when I'm down.
Oh, my phone, my inbox is going off. Hold on.
Oh, damn.
When I'm
That
feeling
was
a
quick.
little weak, you get to say a prayer.
Thirsty asses.
He calling you on the main line.
All right.
I don't know. I would say blinds have the most fun. Because I'm having fun with this blonde.
Say that again.
It's been real. I don't have anything going on. I just want to say that it's always doing to others as you have been doing to you.
Okay. And for me, we started off the conversation. If love isn't enough to keep you kept, then what is? Like I said, I'm not in the line of business. As Isha said on Poetic Justice, I'm not in the line of keeping people who don't want to be kept. So there's a reason that you want to be kept. And we have to talk about that. You have to address it and get it out there. Because again, like we say, love may not be the key component that keep you there. It might be other tangibles. So find out what's keeping you in a relationship. Move forward. If it's something that's keeping you there, it's your damn business that's what's keeping you there. Don't listen to other naysayers and what they got to say, because sometimes your alignment may not mix with their alignment. So I think that's the bottom line. And a lot of times, again, we always bring up the social media aspect, whatever. A lot of times we're basing stuff on what other people have to say. Shit, if you content what you got going on, then live with it. You the only one got to deal with those consequences later. With that said, we out. Thank you all for who joined the panel. Thank you all who participated in the chat. Another great show in the Counselor's Corner. see you next week. And everybody be safe and be productive this week. That's all. We out.
All right. Have a good night.
All
Good
right.
night.
Goldilocks. Oh, we still on here. Let me get out of here.